This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by the Intrepid Foundation / Planet Broadcasting charity campaign.
Why, that's us.
Some of us.
Some of the second bit is us.
That's right. Normally this would be the intro to and then we talk about it later. Let's just do it now, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it now.
We're nearly at 40,000, aren't we?
Oh my God, we're at $39,500 and $8.
And $8?
No, $39,508.
And $8. Listen up, everybody. The idea is for every...
He's going to keep barreling on with the ad, but I'm so frustrated that he said the wrong thing.
For every $8...
He's deliberately misheard me.
Even your B dollars. We'll take any of them because for every dollar raised, they double it. Nearly at 40,000. That means we're nearly at 80,000. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. The idea is we're building a... not us.
We could do a day.
No, we couldn't. People they wouldn't let us. We're too rad.
Yeah.
Now, the people at the Intrepid Foundation...
2 podcasters drown in dumbass incident. Brought on by their dumb selves. That's the headline on page 15.
Yeah. So the idea is seaweed farm. It reduces CO2 emissions in the atmosphere. It also is a food source. It can be for people and animals, which reduces methane in, say, cows, for example. It's better than grain.
Yum, yum.
It's a healthier substitute for the environment.
You're going to say it's a hell of a substitute for the environment.
It's both things.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So as I've mentioned this before, but as the rainforest burns, this is a way to kind of combat climate change in general, if you believe in it. Which you should.
You probably should.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is, even if it's not real, clean air's way better.
Better than
clean
dirty
air and water
is
way better.
Feels good.
And I plan to be here for at least another 4 years, and I don't want the earth to flood. All right? I want to hit 40, Mason.
Good for you.
Yeah, can't wait.
Nice.
Then I'll be one of those guys that'll be like, get less for murder. What, I don't know. What do people say when they're 40?
Yeah, that's what men say when they're 40 years.
Yeah, so do you get less than 40 years for murder?
I think you do get less than 40 years. Yeah.
The other exciting thing about this is, of course, they've moved on to the next stage. They were looking to raise $350,000 to move into the next kind of tier of this project.
I see.
And we have now. In no small part to the people who have donated to this. Also, if you donate, we're doing a Q&A, of course, like we do every year. Mm-hmm. You can ask a question specifically to that. We got through all of them, I think, last time. We're going to give that a go again this year.
Yeah, that's right.
The other thing is we want to do is we've got this new studio, of course, that we can give people a tour of. You saw a glimpse of that last year if you donated. Also, previous Q&As are available. There's going to be other bonus shows from other Planet Broadcasting networks. Claire is also organising some prizes every year from sponsors. These are all incentives for you to donate to this thing, any amount of money. Please do. We'd really appreciate it. And if you don't, we won't know, but you'll know.
Well, you'll know, and secretly we'll know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let's just say we will know.
Yeah.
We'll definitely know if you don't.
You can't prove that we don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
By process of elimination, if you don't donate, we'll know.
And we'll get you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is, of course, all linked below. But on with the show.
On with the show.
Shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick Mason.
I'm here. Feels good to be here.
Yeah, I feel better than earlier in this week, and I'm still... Claire's away.
I was going to say, what happened earlier in this week?
Oh, well, I was sick. If anyone heard suggestible, I was not in a good way. And then Claire then went away for the weekend, so I was with my kid. And
how long was she away?
4 days, 5 days.
Less for murder.
I know.
Right.
So that's where that expression comes from.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
I did not use it in a good scenario,
no.
But you did. Yeah. What about you? Anything going on?
Had a pizza earlier.
How was that?
You saw it. It's good.
Hot stuff.
It was hot stuff.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
I didn't have a pizza. For me, it's too late for pizza and carbs, Mason. I got to retain this. I've been watching Fight Club, and Brad Pitt and that is 36, and I'm like, well, that's my age, and if I want to look like that, no pizza.
I guess that, but also he's spoiler alert, he's a figment of another man's imagination. So, or is he? Because do we really know? Like maybe the main character looks like that.
Yeah.
And Edward Norton's the illusion.
Do you really think so, though?
Do you think?
Why would you imagine yourself to be Edward Norton when you could imagine yourself to be Brad Pitt?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I said Brad Pitt, but you didn't stop me.
No, I didn't.
Because you knew it was right.
I knew you were you're pinning your health hopes on this figment of a man. Yeah. This figment of a man who only existed for the filming of the film Fight Club.
Exactly. He was dehydrated.
Under very specific dangerous healthcare conditions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, all right, give him his dream.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Here's a dream that's coming true for everybody.
Oh, here we
Tom
go.
Welling and Erica Durance will be returning as Lois and Clark, respectively.
That's right.
For the Lois and Clark 25-year reunion. No, for Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yeah, they're getting everybody back.
They are, of course, Clark Kent / Superman, sort of Superman, I guess, technically. I guess Smallville. I
He
guess.
put the costume on in the last episode.
I guess he did,
Yeah, I guess he
Mason.
did, but aren't you excited to see what he's been up to?
Yeah, but so they say Clark Kent.
Well,
and-
here's the answers in the Smallville comic book.
That's right.
It was
That's
published
true.
afterwards.
That's true, and she's Lois Lane, obviously. So they're folding that into this new crossover they're making. I'm well behind on these shows, but I'm 100% jumping in on this one. What about you?
I lost all my words just then. Me excited. That's where I went
Me
with that.
excited
Me
too.
excited, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We know Brandon Routh is doing a Grey Temple Superman kind of Kingdom Come
Yeah,
suit.
that's right.
Is that the same version that he was in the Superman Returns universe or whatever?
Is there going to be a wacky kind of situation where he meets the Atom?
And they're like, we're the same.
But we're what?
We can both do that thing with the chin-ups with the... I mean, Superman's cheating when he does it. You know those chin-ups?
Yep.
The Arrow does. You know, with the bar, and they go
Yeah.
up the bar.
You're thinking of Arrow. I'm talking about the Atom.
Yeah, the Adam can do it also,
Can
is what
he?
I'm saying. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did it in some episodes of Legends or
Yeah,
whatever.
good for
yeah.
him.
Yeah, so I agree.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
hard probably.
You've called my bluff on the Arrowverse.
It's
there.
good to make a fool of you on
Oh
air.
my god, it sure is. I do it every week. Now you know the power of it. It feels good.
Feels great, yeah. So is this, we weren't huge fans of Smallville, but it's all we had at the time.
That's true.
And then
It's all
we
we
stopped
had.
watching them. Some
Yeah.
people, like say Will Anderson, watched every episode inexplicably. But what do you...
I'm excited to see where all these
Yeah.
universes have gone to. Like, how many boats has Lex Luthor stolen in the
Oh, you
Superman
think they're
Returns
getting back
universe?
Kevin Spacey, are they?
No.
That's what you're saying, yeah?
I was thinking of Gene Hackman when I said that.
Oh, do you
but-
reckon they're going to get Gene Hackman, do
Yeah, I
you?
think they're going to get Gene Hackman back. Yeah.
Gene Backman.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think they'd actually get anybody from the original universe? Like, you could get, like, the Jimmy Olsen's still alive? You get that guy? He's in things.
I guess you could. Yeah.
Yeah. Otis, is he alive?
Who's Otis?
Lex Luthor's sidekick.
Oh.
What about Miss Taskmaster? Remember her? Lex
Yes.
Luthor's
Yeah, vaguely.
girlfriend
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Great stuff.
Are we going to have a meeting of the Lex Luthors? Is the question. Maybe they are, because Michael Rosenbaum said that he hasn't been asked.
Yeah.
But at this point,
Well, this Tom Welling thing just came through,
so what about a meeting of the Lex Luthors?
yeah.
Not all of them. Rosenbaum and Cryer is what I'm
What
saying.
about who was the dude who played him in Lois and Clark? What's that guy? Get him.
Oh
as well.
yeah,
Whatever his name
that
is.
guy was mostly not bald for.
Yeah.
he was not bald for season 1.
That's what happens.
Whatever that guy's name was, I'll never think of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
But good on him.
Yeah, good on
Do you
him.
reckon they'd get Superboy? Whichever version. There was 2 Superboys from the Superboy TV series. Get either of them?
All right. Is that too far away?
I think it's too far away and not well known enough.
And
I
they'd be
think-
Superman
yeah.
at this point, and they'd have to turn around like a photograph of themselves and be like, "This is when I was Superboy."
Now-
you know,
yeah.
I'm holding up the newspaper, and now I'm Superman.
Is because it's the same suit as
Yes.
the Chris Reeve one.
Yes,
Is it the same Superman's? Is it supposed to be?
the Brandon Routh one.
No. The Superboy from the TV series.
Oh,
Because obviously, from the movie, he just goes to the Fortress of Solitude and then he comes out as
Yeah.
Superman.
yeah. I don't think it is.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though, because the version of the Christopher Reeve Superman was created pre the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes.
So that was the Superman who was Superboy,
Yeah.
and then he grew up to be Superman, and that's why the Christopher Reeve Superman has the insane superpowers. That's why he can spin around the
Yes.
Earth and reverse time or whatever, because he has all the powers of the pre-Crisis Superman.
Yeah.
And then what happened is Crisis on Infinite Earths happened in between Superman movies, and rather than go, well, let's depower Superman in the movies, they're
Yeah.
like, well, let's just keep him the same.
Same, and who cares?
So the post-Crisis Superman was never Superboy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was just Clark Kent, and then he went into the Fortress of Solitude and became Superman.
Bless him.
So,
yeah.
look,
Took all those lessons from the Crystal Dad.
yeah, exactly.
Kingdom of the Crystal Dad.
Yes.
Speaking of, did you watch the Shia LaBeouf
Hot Ones. No, I didn't see it. Was it good?
Look, we've rubbished him on. We had a segment on this show, a recurring segment for what felt like 100 years.
Well, did we rubbish him, or did we just...
We just said things that he did.
We just said things... He
Yeah.
rubbished himself.
Yeah, like
We
a lot
just
of.
reported the news.
He seems, to be doing better. I mean,
that's
he's done
good.
some very shady things, on various platforms and whatever. But actually, looking at him, I'm like, you know what? I can see him as Indiana Jones' son now.
Okay.
Like,
So yeah, I guess that's true. Would you say that would you say it's an honest interview? Do you think does it get deep, or does it just kind of like
no, not. He just seems more kind of I don't know, more likable, I guess.
Okay, well that's all right.
I mean, but actors, who knows?
Yeah. The problem, I think, also one of the biggest problems with Mutt in Indiana Jones Crystal Skull,
The fencing, the monkeys.
all of the things, but everything. But he looks too. Like, I understand that the look, he's kind of like a greaser kind of 1950s kind of hot rodded guy, but he looks too clean.
Yeah, I
like
agree,
the whole look is too crisp.
Yeah.
And it needed stubble, it needed a worn out leather jacket.
Yeah.
It needed something to prove that he isn't just this weird trend following guy. He's
Yeah.
like, well, I'll be a greaser then, I guess.
Which he was.
Yeah.
Which he definitely was. Anyways, next bit of news. You've just watched this, Mason. It's hot off the presses. Rambo, we'll get to it. But you've just watched this, Mason. It's hot off the presses. Jurassic World, Battle at Big Rock. The interquel between Jurassic World 2 and Jurassic World 3.
And I maintain that this could potentially just be the opening couple of minutes of Jurassic World
I think
3.
it's just like a get excited, everybody.
okay, yeah,
Did this not get you more excited for the next one? Because I did. I was like, oh yeah, I like Jurassic Park when it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder how, once we get to Jurassic World 3, is this a portent of things to come? Like, is it going to be a whole world that's overrun?
I hope it's going that way.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't want to see another park.
No.
Don't make me watch that again.
Because that's a direction I want to see this universe go. Is
Yeah.
like it's the apocalypse, but it's not a zombie apocalypse. It's a dino apocalypse. Dino-pocalypse, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Apocosaurus?
And then we get
That
the
works the other
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs adaptation that I've always wanted.
Oh my god! And the Dino Riders adaptation that I've always wanted.
Yes.
2 spin-offs. So I really liked this. This is the thing I've liked the most since the first Jurassic Park.
It's pretty, like, it's kind of corny and hokey,
Yeah,
but that's the...
like Jurassic
that's
Park
Jurassic
is
Park.
that as
Yeah,
well.
right,
Like, even at its best, that's what it is. And actually, when I showed Claire this, she got so jazzed. She's like, "There's some Jurassic Park films I've never seen. Can we watch Jurassic Park 2?" And I'm like, absolutely. But I was also like, oh, this one goes forever. And then we watched it and she's like, this isn't as good as the first one. I'm like,
Bingo.
No, that is to be believed. There's some good stuff in that movie. You've never seen it.
Haven't seen it, but I'm still going with bingo.
We should come back to it at some point.
Anyway, it looks good. It's the dinosaurs are they've become like, bears.
Yeah.
Or bloody
raptors.
Raptors in the wild. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I like the way it sets up the universe. Colin Trevorrow directed it, who, of course, is coming back for this new one. And I guess they're getting back Bryce Dallas Howard and
Chris Pratt, yeah.
whatever.
Exactly.
Yes,
Sure.
And they'll save a kid from whatever, which what these
Sure,
movies
yeah.
always are about. Maybe the kid's cloned, though. Spoiler alert, Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom.
Is that how that movie ended?
Yeah, the kid was cloned.
Oh.
She was a clone of the new John Hammond's daughter, the babe guy.
Oh, yeah. Are we getting BD Wong back?
I would love, definitely.
When's his weird whatever plan he's got? When's that coming to fruition?
Selling dinosaurs. He did it already.
Isn't he doing more though?
He probably.
Where's the dino
he
human
definitely
hybrid?
stole some embryos and flew off in a helicopter. Probably.
See, I think if you said, okay, if you started up a new franchise like the Dino Apocalypse franchise,
Yes.
and you were like, okay, first off the bat, bloody dino human hybrids, I'd be like, this is so stupid. This is
BD Wong,
ridiculous.
you moron.
Exactly, but if we're like Jurassic World, if we're up to Jurassic Park 6, what is
Sure.
it?
I don't know.
Then they're like dino human hybrids. I'm like, it's about damn time.
Good gravy, BD Wong.
Exactly.
Took you long enough, yeah, absolutely. And maybe Chris Pratt could be friends with them.
You could be friends with them, yeah.
One of them he'd call Barney, because it's funny.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Because it's funny, Mason.
Yeah, Barney is a funny name,
Oh, the Barney the dinosaur. I meant from the kids show.
but Barney is a funny name.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a question for you.
Yes.
Are you a fan of the movie Rambo 5? Hold that thought.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you a fan of Sony were considering apparently rebooting The Princess Bride till everybody went crazy on the internet about it?
I'm not crazy about them rebooting The Princess Bride.
You a fan?
I like the
a good movie.
I like the movie. I like the book.
I like
Two-
the bit
two
where he
good things.
stabs a rat. Stabs a big rat.
Yeah,
It's good.
The rodent of unusual size. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It's a solid movie. I
It
think.
is.
It's such a great, and it's a timeless kids movie. I
Yes.
think. I mean, if these kids would get off their bloody iPads.
I tell you what, Mason, if one of them would go outside and stare at the sun, I would fall over. I'd be so shocked and appalled, surprised.
We could knock you over with a feather.
Yes.
But I think it's It's a movie that's 100% stood the test of time, and I'm not sure what they would do. Like, anything they would do to it would make it less charming, I
Agreed.
think. Like,
anybody you cast.
You can't replace Andre the Giant. You can't replace bloody Wallace Shawn. You can't replace...
You cannot replace a single person in that movie.
Uh-huh.
You probably bring back Billy Crystal, because you just probably would.
Yeah, that's true.
You put him in the makeup, it doesn't matter. But I think I say this for everything. The only way that you could probably do this is a sequel, but even then, that's not going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Sony
long
aren't exactly
rumored to be
knocking
the
it out of the park for sequels.
Long rumored to be the sequel, Buttercup's Baby.
Yeah, the book sequel, is that right? Is that the book sequel?
I don't think there is a book sequel.
There's no book sequel.
I think there's a book sequel.
Oh, we'll never know, will we?
I'd be if there was a book sequel, I would be astounded that they haven't made it already. But I don't think.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things where it was. I think it was a different time in the 80s. For one,
that's true.
Everybody looked ridiculous, and now we all look great, and we will forever.
That's true. That's true.
But I think they were more went, this is kind of a one and done thing or whatever a lot of the time. Or this is pretty good. Let's not kind of. I mean, there was a lot of crap sequels or whatever, but I think they were more inclined to be like, this is a classic and let's just pull back on this.
There's an article from the New Yorker. It says that the headline is Remake Everything, particularly The Princess Bride. Well, that's just clickbait, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know what I think maybe it is? I think maybe Buttercup's Baby was like a chapter that was released.
Okay.
I think maybe that's what happened. Look, I'm going to look it up and we'll find out using technology.
Yeah, right.
What do you think about that?
I don't like it.
Wow.
You should go outside and look at the sun or whatever I said before.
Okay. Buttercup's Baby, here we go. The epilogue to some later editions of the novel, I do not have
25th
this version,
anniversary edition,
mentions a sequel, Buttercup's Baby, that was having trouble getting published because of the legal difficulties with F.S. Morgenstern's estate. Not a real person.
This is one of those fake things, is it?
Yeah, so the if you have not read the book, the conceit of the movie obviously is Fred Savage being read the story of The Princess Bride by Columbo. But the conceit of the novel is that when William Goldman was a kid, his grandfather read him the story of The Princess Bride, and when as an adult he tries to track down a copy of the book.
Yes.
And then when he finds it, it's not like a children's story. It's like an enormous like omnibus of like, you know, it's got 1,000 pages of political intrigue and like weather patterns. And
it's a Lord of the Rings.
It's Lord of the Rings, but and it's like filled with like all the phases of the moon and all this sort of stuff. And so he realizes that the version that his grandfather read to him, he just chopped out all the
crap.
So the version we read as the book is like the edited version that he's edited.
Have you read it?
Yes.
I'm sure I've asked you this.
Yeah, but it's like, and so the version we get is like the edited down version that he wants. So the conceit is that he hasn't written it. It already existed and it was written by S. Morgenstern, I guess.
Okay, gotcha. So,
So
there's not a real sequel, really. It's like a fake joke sequel that they say.
Disjointed assemblage of stories about the quartet's escape to One Tree Island. The chapter also continues the author's extensive footnotes after he's outraged to learn that the fiercely protective Morgenstern estate had finally relented to an abridgment of Buttercup's Baby, done not by Goldman but by author Stephen King.
Got him.
The 30th anniversary edition of The Princess Bride included hints to the sequel's plot and a promise to have the full version completed before a 50th anniversary edition, which is in 2023. So if they're gonna do, would they do a sequel to the? If they're going to release a movie version, would they release a remake
like concurrently
with the book or like with the?
I think they'd do a sequel. I think if anything else, because people shouted about this so much.
Yeah,
I'm really of the mindset of it's a very good movie and you won't match it.
Yes,
but I don't care if you remake it because
right.
I know I say that a lot about everything all the time, but it doesn't. I say that because it doesn't affect the other movie at all.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like the new RoboCop or the new whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Was it a Rob Reiner film, Princess Bride?
Sure.
Okay then, great. Yeah. I guess if you Alan Moore is always mad when people adapt his works.
I think he's less so now. He's more like
I think he comes and goes. I think initially he was. I remember an interview.
Rob Reiner. Yep.
Yeah, I remember an interview with him, decades ago, where he's like, "Do you get mad when people, ruin your work with adaptations?"
Yes, he said, "I put curses on them all."
No, but initially he was like, "No," because they're right there, and he pointed to his bookshelf with all of them, and then he started getting mad, and now he's less mad.
Okay.
But I guess with something like The Princess Bride, there's already a definitive adaptation, which is really good.
Yeah.
And it's never going to disappear. So nobody involved is going to be like, well, they've taken some of the shine off because there's one. It's not like the first adaptation of Watchmen was really good, and then they're going to do another one that's going to be terrible and it's going to wipe the other one off the map kind of thing.
I mean, they've tried.
They have tried. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm looking forward to that TV series. Anyway, Mason, we've got to do another bit of news.
Okay, I'm ready.
And it's Star Wars news.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you love it.
God.
This is via
Dang
Star
it.
Wars Unity. Consider this a rumor. Apparently, Disney are looking at a solo spin-off series that will focus more on the Crimson Dawn and the underworld elements of the Star Wars universe, specifically whatever happened in Solo.
Oh, yeah.
A Solo story.
We're clamoring for it.
No. But I think there is a story to be told there. But
Yep.
also, it's that same time period of like jump 40 years in any direction. Jump
Just something better.
40 or not even better, just different. Because
Yeah.
all the comics, all the movies, all the books, not all of them, a lot of them are set around this time period.
Yeah, right.
They can't go too far ahead because then you're clashing with the new
The
movies
real
or
stuff,
revealing
sure.
stuff. But also they seem to be really, they're not getting even between like Jedi, Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens because they're
Yeah.
still waiting for the next one to come out, I assume.
Yeah.
So...
But also
Also, Darth Maul's dead. We all know.
Exactly. Well, exactly. But the impetus is to fill in every gap.
Yeah.
There's no way we won't get these eventually, I think, because
The current Star Wars comic, it's going to wrap up in December, and that's going to go right up to Echo Base. So that's completely A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back covered in its entirety. Yeah. Sick indeed.
But not every point
Oh,
of the
they've had
galaxy,
some
though.
side adventures, don't you?
Yeah,
worry
that's
about
right.
that.
Exactly. That's right.
Remember that time Darth Vader nearly got them, but it's never mentioned in the movies?
Remember that time someone nearly got Darth Vader, but then he got them? Remember that character you've never heard of before that nearly got Darth Vader?
They're actually
who's
doing
not
that-
appeared in any of the movies or any spin-off material? Well, guess what? He nearly got Darth Vader, but then Darth Vader got him.
You're talking about Target Vader. It's currently running. They're 2 issues in.
Oh, yeah?
They're
How's
really-
that going?
It's
Are they
good,
you
but
think maybe somebody's going to get
I think
Vader?
they're nearly going to get him.
Oh, my God. That's so exciting.
I know.
Is that a too good for too long?
It's actually
this
not
bloke?
bad. It's actually not bad.
Yeah, of course.
This comic, yeah. So there you go.
I mean, there's ways to do it and be compelled by the characters.
Definitely, yeah.
And if somebody goes on, if somebody goes out to kill Darth Vader and then they realize that what they really wanted to kill was their own self-doubt.
Yeah.
And then they become stronger as a person. Well, it doesn't matter that they didn't get Vader. It's not important. But then Vader kills them.
Yeah. Also, get Vader if you can.
Yeah, get him.
Got the opportunity.
That'd save everyone a lot of problems.
I don't care if it's not in continuity.
Yeah.
But just do it.
Just get him.
Make it a Inglourious Bastard situation. You got him.
Yeah.
Like they got Hitler. It's like we
Yeah.
got him, we stopped it. Yeah. And then in the next movie, it's just Palpatine just puts whoever in a suit. It's like, yeah, I need one.
Oh
and
my God.
This is fine.
Yep.
Just this guy who doesn't look like Hayden Christensen, which
Answer to
makes
Anakin.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Answer to Anakin. Also, you have a kid.
Yep.
And remember you'll really throw Luke off his guard if you say, "I'm your father."
If you put your hand up to choke somebody, I will do the choking.
Oh, it's just a random guy. It's not even a
Yeah, it
Sith
can be
guy.
anyone.
It's just a random guy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars, sort of, Mason,
I'm ready.
but it's not Star Wars news.
Yes.
JJ Abrams and Bad Robot have signed a Warner Brothers deal worth $250 million plus, like bonuses and I assume and shit like that, to jump on board the Warner Brothers freight train. Toot toot, can't be stopped.
So freight trains go toot?
Yeah, the front part does, and the back. I know.
Hence the two toots.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So you know the back is still attached.
Yeah, for
Toot,
sure. Yeah. Toot.
toot.
Yeah, right. It's like a cooey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people are speculating he's going to do the Justice League and everything because he
Right.
nearly did Superman Flyby. We got a video on it
Yeah.
from years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he'll take over the DC stuff.
He's doing some sort of Spider-Man series right now for.
He is. I read it.
Oh,
A lot of
how's
people are
that?
very kind of like, he's doing it with his son, a lot of down on it. It's fine. And it's also a first issue. It is a lot of, there is some stuff, I'm going to spoil it right now.
Is it out of continuity?
Yes.
Oh, well, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
I keep getting, because what happens now, because on this phone, whenever I open Google, like I get a series of clickbait articles,
Yeah.
like at the bottom of Google, and they're getting more and more accurate. So it's just like, it used to be like, what would a normal, what would just an average person want? And now it's just like, here's some spoilers for some comic books that you'd like. And
Nick Mason, you're late for work.
Oh, what? Oh no! How do you know, Google? But then it's all like, oh my God, this twist you won't believe in JJ Abrams' new comic book, and I'm like, it's not. It's out of continuity.
Yeah,
It doesn't. It makes
matter.
no difference.
All right, there's always time codes. People can jump ahead. But
Here's a spoiler for this
spoiler.
JJ Abrams Spider-Man thing.
But people should read it because it's there's some good stuff in it.
I mean,
But-
you're not giving me time to read it, are you?
No. Do you want to read it?
No, I'm not going to read it.
Okay. Imagine
God.
a world.
Ugh.
But
This is so much less effort.
Yes.
Just someone can tell me
just
what the
tell you
plot
stuff,
is.
Yeah. So at the start of the comic, Spider-Man's fighting a new villain. It's like a weird hybrid, almost xenomorph monster.
Oh my God, is Uncle Ben back?
He's not.
Okay.
And it kills Mary Jane.
Oh my God.
Which I'm kind of like...
This is going to have ramifications for the whole Marvel universe.
But I'm also like that fridging element of like,
Yeah.
Mary Jane, again with this shit or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it jumps forward in time and he's got a kid, he's got a redhead son. So again, not in continuity because in the main continuity he's got a daughter.
Yeah.
And in other continuities, he's got a son and daughter, and the new one he does, and not the new one, that Generations one where it jumps forward 10 years, which is really good. And he's missing one arm, so he's got a hook hand.
Oh.
And his son is discovering his powers, but he's also a distant dad because he's like, I got to keep my family safe, so I can't talk to my son ever. But it's
I've got to keep my kid at hook's length.
Exactly. You're being... But
is there an explanation for why he's got a hook hand?
Yeah, he got it torn off in this battle or whatever. You see it, it's all like mangled
because
or whatever. Great art.
The MCU 2 Spider-Man, the future one, he's missing a leg.
Oh.
Yeah, the one that has Mayday Parker as his daughter.
Mayday
one
Parker.
leg.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. There's some stuff in it I don't like. I don't like the distant father because how else would I protect you? Just be around.
Yeah.
And teach him.
Surely you've learned at this point. You're a grown up. Come on.
So, but no.
Surely you've read Spider-Man comics.
Yeah, I think it's for first issue. It's getting unnecessarily maligned, and I think a lot of that is because
it's his son.
It's JJ Abrams and JJ Abrams' son.
How old is JJ Abrams' son?
Like 1920 maybe.
Okay, well that's not. Yeah. It's not like he's 14.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's 10.
And obviously, like that's happening because of the JJ Abrams thing. But you know, it is what it is, And look, if it turns out to be horrible, we can all bash it forever, all right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also,
if I read something when I was 19, it'd be terrible. If I read something 19, if I was now, it'd be terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, it's not like it's like JJ Abrams is writing the main continuity Spider-Man, and he's bringing his son, and his son doesn't know anything about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he's killed all your favorite characters. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's fine. This will be over in probably 4 to 6 issues, and we'll never hear about it again.
But what do you think about? I kind of like the direction that DC Universe is going.
Also, I think the guy's Uncle Ben, the polymorphic guy, whatever he is.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
xenomorphic guy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's Uncle Ben.
Did that come up on your phone when you opened it?
No, but that's my guess.
That's
my hot guess.
You do see his face, and he's like old, so you might be right.
Might be Uncle Ben.
Anyway, getting back to
Norman Osborn. It's Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? I like the direction the DC Universe is going in the movies at the moment. Even though we haven't seen Joker, we've seen it this week.
Oh yeah.
And you're getting James Gunn in or whatever. I think if they're looking for somebody to oversee it, I don't necessarily know whether they might need that, but I guess you do.
Yeah,
if they want to do one interconnected thing.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of different universes and stories.
Maybe they need a guy to keep everything apart.
Yeah.
Like he stands like in the DC offices. There's like a bunch of different doors and a hallway. And they need JJ Abrams to be in there being like, nope, no sir.
Beat it.
Get it? No. I see what you're doing.
They paid me $250 million to stand here.
Yeah, he's a, what's the thing? Chaperone.
Bouncer?
He's a chaperone.
Oh, chaperone.
Yeah.
Like
no fooling around, you guys.
Like someone who sits in the back seat of a car and stops you from kissing or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean...
Do you? When did you grow up?
I've been on a chaperone.
Did you grow up in the back to the? Did you grow up in the back to the Future?
I absolutely
past?
did.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good. Do you know why?
Why's that?
Racists.
Yeah.
Everyone was racist.
Yeah. I know. I get it. I understand. That sounds bad.
Okay. We're here, aren't we?
Are we?
We're in Ram. I've got a new name for the new Rambo movie.
I'm ready
about
for
Rambo.
It. Okay.
Home Alone.
Oh.
I could have gone with Rambone.
Yep. Yep.
But what do you think?
You could have gone with Home Stallone.
It's not bad either.
It's not bad, right?
Could have gone with Hambone Stallone is Home Alone.
Nice.
What do you think of that one?
That's really good.
I don't think it's as good.
No, I think it's very good.
Okay. Anyway, it's 8.
I'm going to go on Sly Stallone's Instagram and suggest you change his name to Hambone Stallone. See how this goes over.
So, 18 million US opening, which is about on par with Rambo 4, which opened about 11 years ago. And it cost 60 million, which is roughly the same as Rambo 3 cost.
Okay.
Which is exciting. Which means basically the budget it's a pretty low budget for something like this.
But that's $60 million in 1986.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is very cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bargain basement prices.
You know it is. So look, what do you think the story was? I guess.
Oh, okay. Rambo's back, and it's been how long? When did the last one come out?
11 years.
Okay, so it's been 11 years. He's got himself a little surrogate family, having a great time, grand old time, and then one of them's like, I think I'm going to go and put myself into a lot of danger. And then Rambo's like, maybe you shouldn't put yourself into a lot of danger.
I've seen some things that you wouldn't even know I've seen.
And she's like, okay, you've shown me the light. I'm not going to do anything, get myself into any danger. And he's like, cool bananas. And then she gets herself into a bit of danger.
Yep.
And then Rambo's like, I better Rambo this.
That's what I got to do.
I've got to get my Rambo on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yep.
And it's to ill effect. Okay, this is what. Okay, Stallone is good in this.
Yes.
There's some good violence at the end.
Yes.
This is a fucking. I mean,
I didn't ask your opinion before this, so this is a very fresh take.
look, I didn't think it was terrible in terms of like action wise.
Yes.
I think there's some solid action stuff, and I don't think it's intentionally like Mexico's an absolute hellhole.
But we did mention this off air. Everybody from Mexico is bad.
And there's a line where she's like, I'm going to go to Mexico to see my father. And he's like, everything's down there the worst. If you go down there, you're going to get murdered every day of your life.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's one day left because you're going to go to Mexico.
That's right.
You cross that bloody border wall.
Murdered every day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. But here's the thing about this movie. I think two things about this movie.
Oh.
Two things and two things only.
Okay.
Number one, I think they started from because you mentioned the action sequence.
Yeah.
I think they started with an action sequence at the end. I think, and it's in the trailer, so I don't think this is a spoiler so much. And it's a Rambo movie, of course it's going to end in an action sequence. I think they went, okay, at the end of the movie, we want Rambo to be in America defending like a homestead farm kind of situation.
But from who?
But exactly.
Yeah.
And then they worked backwards and they're like, well, who could he be fighting in America that he needs, military tactics to fight against?
Who can he hit with the machete?
Who can he Rambo to the max in America? And I think they work backwards, and that's how it feels. Also the second thing is the revelation I think I had about this movie is what makes Rambo Rambo.
Yes.
Because I feel if you took the other thing about this script is I feel like
It's really good.
it may have started out as just another action script for Stallone, and then they went, "Hey, when was the last time we did a Rambo?
Yep.
Let's just make this a Rambo.
This
add a bit of prestige.
You
and
could
and
be
a name
like,
brand.
This is a Liam Neeson old man movie.
Yeah.
This is a Mel Gibson old man movie,
Yeah.
revenge movie. This is a Sean Penn old man movie or whatever.
I think if you took the names out of this,
Yeah.
if you took John Rambo out of this, and I watched this movie, I'd go, "Oh, is that knife an homage to Rambo in
Yes.
this movie? Is that maybe the bow and arrow is an homage to Rambo?" I don't think I'd go, "This is a Rambo movie."
No, absolutely not.
The question is Rambo more ill-defined than Rocky?
Yeah, I see. That's the thing. I think he's over the years they've wavered on what he is, especially 2 and 3. Because the first one, which I rewatched recently, I watched them all. So I even watched 4 before this. 4, by the way, it's got some really good stuff in it.
Yep.
And story-wise, I think it ends really well where he goes back to his homestead. And spoiler alert, but it's fucking Rambo, whatever.
Yeah.
But we're not going to spoil like the major thing in this, by the way, as well, because there is like a major turning point. I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think there would have been something really interesting to do with a guy who fought the Vietnam War, and he's been through all this trauma, and now he's in his mid-70s.
Yeah.
And because there are vets alive, homeless, or struggling, or some doing well, and whatever. And you don't want to explore the idea of a Vietnam vet in the modern day, as opposed to like, he's mostly fine and then he gets mad.
Yeah,
Again.
right.
And I like the fact that like it's still in there and the Rambo like is still in there.
Yeah.
But it didn't connect to the other versions of him.
Yeah, and I think what happened, it ends in a big action sequence, as you'd imagine, and I think it's kind of cathartic just to see, because what happens is, there are some villains and they're predictably cruel and awful and horrible, and then they get their comeuppance.
Yes.
But also, I don't care.
Yeah.
There's not.
But I didn't care about the villains in 2 and 3.
Yeah, fair enough. But I feel like maybe because there's only really a couple that you would even know anything about.
Yeah.
And the rest are just goons.
Yeah.
Like it's just him killing goons.
Yeah.
And also,
Goon killing.
and again, talking about Spider-Man Mary Jane, just killing a Mary Jane.
Yeah.
His supporting character, his surrogate family, they're not people from the previous movies that we know and love.
Yep.
They're just a couple of people.
Yeah.
And
Before you say what you're going to say, let's say spoilers.
Okay.
Worst movie ever.
I'm also going to say worst movie
Yeah.
ever. Do we have any other? What else can we? Is there anything to tie this together?
Let's just do it all in the spoilers or whatever.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, that's true.
Anyway, you were going to say
What I was going to say is that he's got a surrogate family. We've never seen him before. Like Mary Jane being killed in the new Spider-Man comic book, they just exist to be killed.
Yes.
Or one of them exists to be killed.
Yep.
So he can get some
Raped
sweet
and
revenge.
killed.
Yeah, it's some sweet revenge. and that's not particularly satisfying.
No,
Yeah,
it's not. I think you can go to Mexico and you can do the drug cartel stuff, but you don't want to be like, there's like one person that he meets who isn't the worst person in the world who helps him, but everyone else is like.
I mean, and she only kind of helps him.
Yeah.
I mean, he still gets brutalized.
He does get beat up quite a bit, but I also liked it. I didn't even mind like he goes down there and he just walks into a situation that he should not be in. Like there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, but again, it's like, is this Rambo? Is this anyone?
Yeah, it's just a guy.
He doesn't even have a mullet. At least in 4 he had a mullet. In 4,
he doesn't have a headband.
Yeah, exactly. In 4, it felt like the same Rambo from the first one.
Yeah.
Or I guess the other one, sort of.
Yeah, right.
And then at the end of this movie, they're like, here's a montage of the other movies. And I'm like, yeah, I can remember these movies. And
Sure.
Yeah, and good on him. Yeah. And at the end, he just rides off into the hills, I guess, because they'd come to his house and he's murdered 40 people.
Yeah.
And also they would have been like, isn't that guy who he bought that small town and started the
right.
Taliban? We should really lock this guy up.
And again, like the only two villains, this movie also goes for like 100 minutes. This is quite rare, but I feel like this should have gone another 20 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not because of that would make it, but just give us 5 more minutes with each of the characters.
Yeah.
Maybe so we care about them more. But like there's really only 2 main villains. It's the 2 cartel heads of cartel brothers. And Los Hermanos. And one's a bit crazy than the other. That's it.
Yep.
And and it would be cathartic to at least see them get killed. One of them you don't even see get killed.
Yeah.
Like as it's approaching, like he comes in and he kills all the guys, and then the guys in the bathroom or whatever. I'm like, this is going to be sweet.
It's gonna be. I mean,
Rambo's going to go in there and like run his head along all the glass in the bathroom, and then cut his head off. And then fade to black.
Yeah.
And then we see the aftermath afterwards, and that's kind of it's a little bit cathartic because you see his head, get thrown down a highway.
Or whatever.
Yeah. But I want to see that fight.
Yeah, I agree. On. As opposed to him like threatening to kill a teenage girl or whatever.
Yeah.
Which he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also, he has pills. Did you catch what those pills were supposed to be?
No, but I imagine they're like
heart medication or
no, I thought they would have been
blood pressure or something.
No, I thought they would have been like antipsychotic medication.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
because at the end he's like, forget it. Like when he's in Mexico,
that's
he like
what
throws
I thought,
them on the ground. And he's like, I don't want them.
Well, I wonder. Yeah, you're probably right because
maybe it's anti-Rambo medication.
Oh no, he should be taking those.
Yeah,
he started with the Taliban,
and then he Rambo out. Exactly, that's right.
That's worst case scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought maybe if it was heart medication or for arthritis or whatever, then.
Oh, it just symbolizes.
He just threw him away. And he's like,
these things
aren't
aren't important now, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But so that would make no sense. But if it was like antipsychotics or like to help him, whatever, then that would make more sense to me.
Or it's meant to cut down. I think maybe the idea is partly it's meant to cut down on the flashbacks he keeps seeing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But then and I guess taking those is also cuts down on his combat effectiveness, I guess. I'm not sure.
We did get beat up a lot, didn't he, at that one point?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that he didn't kind of muscle his way out of that situation. Because in previous movies, not so much the first one, but he would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were elements though that...
And he kind of bodies one of them and then they just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. I kind of thought... Well, that's the thing, and it's kind of, and he is a man in his 70s.
Yeah, exactly,
so There are some kind of very Rambo-ish moments. The point where he cuts out the other guy's heart.
Yeah,
That's extremely Rambo 3, I feel.
It's very Rambo. He's also lucky that guy didn't step on one of his many traps because he was saving him for last.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but I like that when they turn up to the farm and he's just well prepared.
Yeah.
And he's never really in any danger.
Would you have preferred that sequence to be played out without you knowing what traps were set up in the house?
Yeah, well, funny thing, Mason, I went to the toilet during this movie, as I do all movies now.
Yeah,
All movies I'm not interested in.
You just need some alone time.
I was there for 7 to 9 minutes. And it was during that moment where he was setting up traps, because I'm like, I get it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So there was a few of them I'm like, bloody spike through the wall.
You pretty much see all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, everything that gets deployed, you see him setting up.
Yeah,
and you go, oh, cool, all right.
Cool, Rambo.
What else is going to happen? Even like... did you see the sequence?
I practiced the bow on the cars. Yeah, I think that was the last thing he did, maybe, so I did catch that. Yeah.
It's lucky that guy also happened to be standing right there.
So lucky.
Yeah, right?
And again, it's like he didn't step on the thing that shot him or whatever.
Like a landmine or whatever.
Like a landmine or whatever.
Or like one of his other goons just didn't shoot him in the head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but again though, good action sequence.
The one good action sequence, yeah.
Like I don't think it's just long enough where I'm like, I would have liked to have seen more. But I feel like if it was an extra 10 minutes, then would I have been like, it's too long, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But I thought, because watching 4 again, I think 4's good, and I think it's not like brilliant,
Right.
but it's the best one since the first one.
Yeah.
And it's also that he's hiding away and he's catching snakes for snake fights or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And then he's not forced, he comes around to helping people, and then it's a rescue mission at the end, he goes home.
Yeah.
And then I think you could have done something with what does this guy do at home and how does he kind of process these things, and he has to get drawn back into something.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I don't feel again, it could be anybody, and who is this?
Yeah,
who's
it
Rambo
doesn't
supposed
feel
to be?
like it doesn't feel like and again, we're not the biggest Rambo scholars or anything,
No.
but we've seen them all.
We're not
and-
Rambo aficionados.
Oh, very good, but we could be.
Yes.
I think we should be, just so we can give ourselves that title. I think, but I feel like this wasn't the right mission for Rambo.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of it needed.
It's got a good audience score. People seem to like it.
Yeah, right.
So, some more than others. But who doesn't like it?
Who's that?
David Morrell, who wrote the original novel. He tweeted out.
Interesting.
I agree with these Rambo: The Last Blood reviews. More like fart blood. God, no, I said that. He didn't
Okay,
say
you didn't say that.
Maybe that's what the pills were for, because he was farting blood. But the film is a mess. Embarrassed to have my name associated with it. So yeah, this.
Well, to be fair, if he hadn't tweeted that, nobody would have associated his name with it because nobody
true.
remembers there is an original novel.
Well, exactly, because
Yeah.
in the original novel, of course, he kills himself at the end, and they
Yeah.
did film that version for the original movie. But
Yeah.
I kind of.
Can you remember? Because I have read the second Rambo novel.
Oh yeah,
Because there's a First Blood Part 2.
Is it a what if or whatever? Is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what the conceit is that they bring him back.
Okay.
Because he's definitely still alive in the second
Let me
novel.
just double check that for
Maybe
you.
it's a clone.
Yes.
Don't pretend you're too good for Hollywood, David Morrell.
Well,
That is in fact your real name.
I was reading through a bunch of his replies, and he sold the film rights. Like he's got nothing to do with it anymore.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
right.
It's like
Uh-huh.
Rambo in name only for him.
Maybe I read a novelization of the movie.
Oh, yeah, so it says he goes back into the jungles of hell to find the missing Americans. So yeah, I think it's just a novelization.
Oh,
of,
right, okay. So there's never any explanation as to why
No,
he came back.
I think
okay.
it's just like the book. They just got him to do the book.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, but he also said that the book the original's like never been out of print. So, he does all right, all right from it. And, so I just think it's a shame because I think there is a story to tell with this character and this is not it.
This is not it, yeah.
And again, it's not a problem with the action. It's not a problem with the
Yeah.
performances. It's just not the right narrative. For this character.
I guess maybe that's something that works for Rocky, and when it doesn't work for Rambo, it's you can be, he's a guy that hit the heights of fame, and now he's back down, and he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of struggling a little bit. Than that, in the Creed movies. I don't, maybe that would have been like you could do that with this.
Yeah.
He could be a Vietnam vet who's kind of struggling and with mental illness and what have you. But maybe that was too similar. So they're like, well, we got to keep him as a big action guy.
Yeah, and he did it, didn't he?
But I don't think you.
God, his face is weird. There's a lot of close-ups of his face, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like he's old, but he's kind of stretched in places from surgery, and the hair's like a Brillo pad.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on there.
Not even a mullet.
I like him.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Your passion for him is clear.
You know it. Anyway, surprise, surprise, everybody. I bring this up every now and then. I don't like to do it too regularly.
Oh, can it be?
It's hate mail, but the hate has an 8 in it.
Yes.
Now, for those people who don't know, new to the show or you just don't really listen that closely, that's fine. But hate mail is based with hate.
I disagree. It's not fine.
The hate has an 8 in it. Yeah. Get among it.
Yes. Go hard or go home.
Yes.
By go hard, I mean listen to our podcast while at home
Yes.
or at work.
Or at work,
On your
wherever, on the commute, yeah. So basically, for YouTube is insane for comments.
Yes.
And every now and then I'll store them up over the months, some of the best, some of the worst, what do you want to call them? And then at a specific time, I'll be like, here's 8 pieces of hate mail.
Unleash them.
Yeah, but it's never 8.
No.
It's just called hate mail, but the hate has an 8 in it. But
'cause
it doesn't
it's
matter.
internet, yes.
Anyway, we did a review of Rambo 3, which is also kind of a summary of the movies.
How'd that go?
In general, the initial reviews, like initial comments are good, and then it's one of those things that gets into the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, nice.
And then it's people coming over looking for either
Gun reviews.
Yeah, for reviews of the new one or just super fans in general.
Oh, here we go.
So here we go.
Oh, I can't wait.
This is from movie guy 666.
Well, he likes movies and the devil, so
That's
good.
right,
Really
yeah.
good start. So this guy's going to be qualified.
So I'm building up some stuff in, some,
Okay.
so getting you the
Oh,
idea.
this is going to get raunchy.
These guys are fucking terrible reviewers. What a bunch of wankers. Fair enough. Kai
I feel like we've been burned by one of our countrymen there.
Yeah, you might.
Wankers, you say?
That's gonna be a British thing.
Yeah.
Michael Keichman says, "Who gives a fuck about what you think? Love all the movies." Okay, Michael.
Is that a command?
Yeah. No,
you must love all the movies.
He loves all the movies.
Oh.
Ezekiel says, you guys don't know shit about movie 80s action is the best and shaky cams suck.
We do. I mean, there's an extent. There's in that review we do 10 minutes on how good shaky cam is.
Yeah, we love it and we'll never stop loving it. This is where it
I also love the idea that you're in one of two camps.
Yeah,
you either love 80s action movies or you love Born
Crap,
Identity,
modern
shaky cam.
Yeah.
You can't like some of or the other. You have to pick a side.
Exactly.
You have to pick a clan.
I like 80s action movies.
Yeah.
Good ones.
The good ones.
Yeah.
Commando's great.
Yeah. Avalon D says a lot of soy milk and cream.
Oh my God, we officially soy boys.
We certainly
Sorry,
are.
say that one again.
A lot of soy milk and cream in this review.
Oh.
Walt says...
What is white creams? Oh,
Like
soy cream?
Soy cream, Mason.
Soy cream, all right.
Soy cream.
I thought the point of a soy boy was like you didn't drink milk, dairy products. You only drank soy products.
This is soy milk.
Oh, this is yes.
With a topping of soy cream on
soy
the top.
cream is soy cream. Okay, so well, if look,
with stevia instead of sugar.
I don't know much about soy products, but if soy cream is the thing, then you got us, whatever your name is.
Walt says bunch of fucking soy boys.
I can't taste stevia.
No,
like I can't. If put it in tea, I can't taste
really?
it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I'm not a fan.
Is it a real thing or is it just a placebo?
I'll do a coconut sugar.
Huh?
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't have stevia.
I can put like 900 stevias in.
Really?
And I'm like, this isn't anything.
I don't know what that is.
I have to go with sugar.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you're a real soy boy.
Oh, come on.
This is from. I'll read you the name after, but this is the comment. Two beta males try to work out action movies. Dudes, stop being babies. Man up, for fuck's sake. It's a fucking Rambo movie. That's from Wiltshire Medieval Society.
Oh my God, yes. That's so good.
I love a laugh. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think Stone's Glass Houses. Let's not.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much to enjoy about that one. What was the
Two beta males.
Yep.
Try to work out action movies.
There's the next bit?
Dudes, stop being babies.
The next bit after that.
Man up, for fuck's sake.
There we go.
Yeah.
Like we were afraid of the movie.
That's
my
Yeah, I know. It didn't. It's not offensive. It's not like these are too violent for my
Yeah,
taste.
it was like this sucks.
Yeah, it's just
I think stating your opinion in a genteel fashion is very manly.
I
you
agree.
ask me.
I love this. Dredge Shred 65 says, two Aussies talking shit about Stallone and Arnold. Either one. Also, we say a lot of positive things. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And do we rubbish Arnold? I don't think we do.
I think
Anyway,
we mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one was better than Mick, brackets, Crocodile Dundee.
Oh my God, did he burn our national hero, Crocodile Dundee? He's on the $50 note.
Write that down, you two wankers, lol.
Nice.
Got us. Trailer Park Ninja says...
Wait, can we just... I just
sorry.
love the idea that, again, we got to pick a camp.
Yeah, right.
And it's all 80s action movie stars from America or Paul Hogan. That's
right.
my favorite, just the idea.
It's Lightning Jack
Oh my God.
and John Rambo. I mean, it's Lightning Jack every day of the week for me.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Trailer Park Ninja
And then Lightning Jack 2, Down Under, but he's already down under.
Still jacking.
Still jacking. Can't stop jacking.
Trailer Park Ninja says, bet if he came back as a trans black lady, the critics would love it. None of that was...
No.
He didn't say anything like that.
No,
a lot of people, I think, are just thinking we're rubbishing the new one. We hadn't seen it at this point.
Well, I mean, we have rubbished it because it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Oh, now we have, yeah.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Oh, okay. This is
Can you add an addendum to the video? Maybe put it up. Now, guys, you might think we were rubbishing the new one. We weren't, but we are now. It sucks.
Yeah, it's not good, yeah.
Also, people oh my God, those people only have one. They have one joke.
Yeah.
Like, what if I said my gender was an attack
I'm an
helicopter?
attack helicopter.
Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Hey, what if
What if I was Chinese?
what if I identified as a truck? Would you call me a truck? I guess. I don't care.
It's fine.
It doesn't take any time out of my day.
Yeah.
I call people by their names.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I know a guy that changed his name to Legs, so I just called him Legs.
Nice.
I was like, good on you, man.
Is it ironic? Did he have no legs?
No, he had legs. He had
Nice.
too many legs.
Oh.
Yeah. He'd stolen a set. Anyway, Lacka Valley says, fuck you, SJW, bitching soy boys. You
Yes.
get it. Dan Larson says, wow, YouTube just recommended me the pile of shit that is your channel. It should be called Feminized Men or maybe Gender Confused Jews. Fuck it. Goodbye.
Wow.
I know. There's a lot in that.
Yeah. I didn't think I came across Dewey at all. I mean, Dewey with a D,
I
because
see
I'm
what you
covered in
meant.
a certain amount of dew.
Sure, yeah. People bring their own...
They really
thing,
do.
yeah.
Like, that's
They do,
fast.
yeah.
Like, we're saying it sucks. We're not saying it sucks because it's
It's like it's too offensive and manly and yeah.
we're saying
It's not a good movie. That's what
they're
we're saying.
no good.
But also, you can like it.
Yeah.
Mr. Do says, you guys sound like the dorks that hide in the corner of a room and secretly rip on the guy who's getting all the girls.
oh my god.
That's us.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Red,
I mean, we're sitting in a small empty room here.
ripping on dudes.
Ripping on dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't see us getting any girls in here.
You
so.
know it. Randy Bobandy says, the way these two butt buddies talk, you'd think they'd written, directed, and starred in their own blockbuster. John J. I looked it up. His middle name's James. I was like, did he get that wrong? No, he's a big fan.
Right.
Can eat things that would make a billy goat puke. Show some respect for this fictional man.
Oh my god, he is not real, isn't he?
He didn't write the fictional man thing.
No, but that's something that's
yeah.
they really do bring in their own biases.
Mm.
And yeah, you're right. You should respect a man who's built for propaganda. You definitely should.
That's it. Judson Gaydon says, this isn't much hate
I'm
mail.
sorry, what's his name? Judson.
Judson Gaydon. This is more of a kind of a like a general comment on the movie itself. I just thought this might help people out and kind of flesh out the world for us.
Okay.
You're not going to talk about the stocks remaining folded on the AKMs and the AMD 65s. Those stocks should be unfolded so the rifles can be fired properly from the shoulder. Personally, I find stuff like that insulting. Can you believe we didn't bring that up?
Oh my god, we didn't think about the extending the stocks. There's also people there's people on the internet who exist to like bring their own biases into a somebody else's review.
Yeah.
But there's also people who only exist. Like that guy is searching AKM whatever it is stocks. So he can just comment on every single video feed.
I can't believe you didn't even notice.
He's on like the Internet Movie Firearm Database, which exists, and he's just going through all the movies that have those firearms, and then he's going to YouTube videos of them, and then he's commenting inaccuracies.
And they're probably all doing that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great.
Also, it's Rambo. He's firing machine guns.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. He fights a horse with a tank or whatever. Or tank with a horse or whatever variation on that. Daniel said...
Oh my God, imagine if you fought a tank with a horse. Imagine if you fought a horse with a tank. That'd be so manly.
You wouldn't splat it like a tube of toothpaste.
You wouldn't see a soy boy fight a horse with a tank, would you?
Are you kidding me? I would love to see a man fight a tank with a horse with a tank.
Right?
It'd be incredible.
You can kill it in so many ways.
It would burst like a tube of toothpaste. Daniel says, so we have two gay clowns here who doesn't like the Rambo movie. Oh, and we have to get them some gay porno movies that they can like.
We'll get our own gay porno movies.
You don't need to ship them over.
We'll be fine.
We've got the internet.
We just Google gay porno movies, please. That's how it works, right?
There's a lot. This is the last one.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't
They're
mean
good,
to,
though.
I didn't mean to put so many in.
But also the thing is, why would you leave any gold on the table is all I'm saying, you know? And also this doesn't come, sometimes we don't get any hate mail for ages.
Yeah,
so,
that's it, man.
Yeah.
Does Rambo... This is from Call Me Kenneth. Exclamation mark. So, does Rambo hurt your delicate sensibilities? Toughen up, manginas. This movie is the tits. Hard-boiled action at its finest. If limp-wrist douchebags like IGN and the rest of the soy-shill media are complaining about the cultural this and misogyny that, then you can rest assured that the movie has everything that these wastes of oxygen bitch boys lack. Oh, this is all caps. A pair of huge swinging balls.
So we need a pair of huge swinging balls between us.
That's right, yeah.
This isn't hard-boiled action.
No.
It's the weakest, softest action there is.
Yeah.
Anyway, like what you like, but I mean...
Yeah.
They're so... Compared to a modern action movie
Yeah.
of any
or
stripe.
a good one of that era.
Yeah, it's like pantomime.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyway.
It ends on this.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, it's still going.
Leave it here, yeah. I'm going to watch it twice. He's talking about the new one, I assume. But again, we didn't mention that in this one.
Yeah.
Once with an erection and the second time with your wife.
Wow. Well, it's good he's keeping his erection away from your wife.
Do you think he could sustain 2 erections, though?
For
Or 1 long erection?
That's 200 minutes.
Yeah.
With 2 showings of that movie.
Well, he's more of a man than either of us, Mason.
That's very true. Look, I love them all.
My wife would not see this movie.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No, well, she'd be swayed by whoever this guy is. She'd
with
see
his
this.
big swinging balls.
She'd see this guy coming out of the movies with an erection, and
his
she'd be
big
like,
swinging balls.
"What movie did you just see?" And he'd be like, "Rambo: Last
I'm
Blood."
actually going back in
Probably the
already.
worst Rambo.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, "Sign me up." I like all of those. My favorite, I think, is the one from the Medieval Recreation Society, whatever. Can you click through and see what videos they're all about?
Yeah, I did have a quick look. It's just been like, we've got this upcoming event, come down or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't harass anybody.
No,
I don't want
true.
any of that.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
We'll go.
We'll do it on this podcast.
Yes.
Obviously.
And live, we're going to go to one of their events and beat them up.
Anyway, I had a really good time with that. And
too.
Thank you for allowing me to bring back Hate
my
Mail, but the
God.
hate has an 8 in it.
That's some good stuff, let me tell you.
It really is.
Yeah.
Off the back of Rambo, Mason, a great film we both enjoyed thoroughly. Well, we've got some guests in. Two in the think tank's own, Andy and Al.
Hello, James.
They've come to talk sci-fi.
Hello, thank you so much for having us.
A pleasure to be here. We thought to ourselves, we were in a bit of a pickle this week. We didn't know what movie we would like them to review. And we were like, if they're going to watch a science fiction film, we want the smartest guys we know. And if we watch Rambo, we need the toughest guys we know. so luckily, these guys
would
fit
have
the
worked
bill.
either way.
Exactly, we're winners. But they wouldn't dare watch Rambo: Last Blood, so they didn't have to suffer through it. So you guys watched Ad Astra.
That's right.
First of all, welcome. You guys just did the 200th episode of your podcast, Two in the Think Tank.
Thank you.
Actually, we all did it.
We all did it.
Yeah.
But we clap because you did 200 sketches? Skit House.
Sketches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skit seems demeaning, but yes.
For some reason, in the sketch comedy industry, skit is hate speech. I don't know why.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
we really react badly to it. But
But we did do 17 hours of a podcast.
Incredible.
Because in a normal episode, you'll think up 5 sketches, but for your milestone episode, you're like, well, 100th episode we'll do 100 sketches, 200th episode we'll do 200 sketches.
correct.
How did you feel in the immediate aftermath? When did it hit you that you've done a lot of podcasting?
You know what? It was hitting me throughout the whole thing
yeah.
as I felt every minute.
Towards the end, I would imagine. Yeah.
So yeah, because and we had multiple guests. We had you guys. We had Jess Perkins. We had
Evan Munro Smith.
Evan Munro
Yeah.
Smith.
He doesn't help.
Gamey Game.
His favourite Toy Story character is Andy. So let's not. No, he's great.
No, you're right. He's a sickening person.
Some Sanspants peeps.
Yeah, some sense and people. So it was great to like have help because I think our brain was turning to mush by the end, as you saw. Sort of, you were there at the end.
I thought you were holding up really well because you were about halfway, Mason,
that's right.
and I was at the tail end, and it went shockingly efficiently.
I thought we'd be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I honestly was expecting one of us to be dead.
and and it's also really incredibly funny.
Thank you.
I choked on an arm, and then that wasn't me being like, I have to say this.
My body is shutting down at the lie, the enormity of the lie.
But there's so many good ideas. You've got it on YouTube.
Yeah, people
as
can watch the live
two
stream.
parts, but you've also got it up.
People
and
can
it's-
watch Mason
choking up.
eating.
I'm joking up. It's very emotional.
People can watch Mason eat the last banana.
Yeah.
And then James, you provided more bananas.
I saw him and I went, good Lord, this guy.
I cannot send him anywhere.
Yeah.
I gotta come in, replenish the bananas.
And something that the listeners of the podcast don't get, that people who watch it do get, is you get to watch Andy whittle a kilo block of cheddar cheese at the end there, and cut it into 2 cheese goblets, and
So
in which
good.
we fill with wine at the end there, and sort of cheers each other.
It's
celebrate.
a sketch comedy podcast / amateur dairy whittling.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those crossover things that people seem to love.
Yeah.
And then over the years, over the next couple of years, I imagine there'll be less sketches in the show and more whittling of cheese. And then by
gonna
episode
transition.
300, people will be like, "You're going to do 300 sketches?" You'll be like, "No, we're going to whittle a lot of goblets."
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole sort of podcasting room made out of sort of like chairs made out of cheese, and the table maybe mics out of cheese.
Very good.
Yeah, maybe some of our main guests will be cheese guests.
So I tagged in for Angus Gordon, comedian Angus Gordon, and I saw him the other day, and he said the thing about you guys is you make thinking of sketches very easy. Like you make it look easy. You make it's akin to like you hear a songwriter or something, and you go, "Oh, they're so good. I could do that.
Yeah.
Let's do it." But in the aftermath, you're like, a man, and he does podcasting. That's a sketch, right?
That was where we were at. I think at about hour 12. We were about that at that point.
I think I was doing that when I was alone in the room with you, and then you just said, "All right, reverse helicopter," and I was like, "Okay, that's a thing." Okay, so it's a helicopter that goes in the dirt underground. It's an underground helicopter.
Yeah.
But I think it's easy to make it look like you're good at something when it's the one thing that it's like when you pick something that nobody else really does publicly.
Oh, right, right.
You know,
Sure,
so you pick something that there's no measure of what's good.
Yes.
And then you look like the best at it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
your
it's
worst
a really good
nightmare
point.
is another sketch podcast that comes up and it's like 7-minute abs became 6-minute abs. If it was another podcast, it's just like, we're going to do 6 ideas a week.
That would ruin us completely. Yeah.
If anyone else comes along, we are going to crash down the rankings of world's best sketch comedy in coming up with podcasts so fast.
Well, until then,
Until such
You're
a
the
day.
kings.
it's linked below the stream and also the episode if people want to listen
And
to
thank
it
you
on
guys
iTunes.
so much for coming on and
Oh my goodness.
plugging
Thank you
it
for having
everywhere.
us.
You've
Yeah.
been delightful.
It's such a great show in general, and I was more than happy. I don't want to speak for you, Mason.
I was super happy.
Okay, both of us were more than
You
happy
guys
to do it.
seemed like you were smiling genuinely.
I was happy. Look, I was happy to be there. Ultimately, I was not happy with my seating position where the camera was put.
Would you have liked the camera more in front of you?
No, I should have moved to the seat on the right.
Right.
You know,
Oh, sure.
Were we in the same seat?
maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting. What a world.
But that's neither here nor there, and there's nothing I can do about it
That's
anymore.
right. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done and uploaded.
Yeah.
Just quickly on Stallone, we were having a group chat earlier this week, and one of you mentioned that you saw a story relating to Stallone and Planet Hollywood, the famous franchise that he started with Arnold, and Bruce Willis was involved, and
I love that this is
Demi Moore, probably.
This is my
when
first-
she was Demi Moore, you know.
my first substantive contribution to your podcast is yes, this crucial piece of information that Sly Stallone apparently had a reputation for shitting in the showers.
absolutely, I've got it.
I didn't even know they had showers.
I
No,
know.
I don't know what kind of a
Showers?
restaurant offers showers. Okay, fine.
Insane.
Or are the staff on for so long that sometimes they have to be like, well, you should shower at work.
I think it's after a day in close proximity to the kind of people who go to Planet Hollywood. You need a good sluicing.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe you're the guy in the Predator costume or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you
Yeah.
have to hose it out and hose
Yeah.
yourself out.
And
I don't
people
know.
are just there to see Hudson Hawk's jacket in a glass case or whatever.
No,
they
that's
sell.
what everyone is there for. Have you guys talked about Hudson Hawk on this show?
I don't think
No.
I've seen it properly.
Well, if it ever comes time to do Hudson Hawk,
Okay.
I will be there for that.
That would be
Okay.
fantastic.
In a big way.
We should caravan of garbage that actually. We should do that as a video if you
absolutely
guys are
should.
keen to
Okay,
do
let's do it.
Hudson
Yes,
Hawk.
yes,
Yeah.
let us.
Is Hudson Hawk like a series of movies or something?
No, it is one film.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
is a master thief of some sort. Is that the premise
Yes,
of Hudson
and he
Hawk?
sings blues standards. That's all you need to know.
Well, if we're doing that, we should also do The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Okay.
Which is Andrew Dice Clay, and he's a rock and roll detective, and he also sings some sort of rock and roll standards, I think. So
Let's do inexplicably singing action.
I love
films.
I just want to quickly say this is an anonymous source from the Stallone thing. I'm sorry to get back to it. I just need people need to know this. Again, allegedly, he was always nice and he tipped very well, but in his tub or shower, it was always clogged. The staff would sometimes be called to the room. He would enter the door in his personalized robe and Speedos, but there was always the same problem, which the engineers would check and were known to prepare for bio, which basically meant a large poop in the...
In the tub,
Yeah.
or the shower. So,
Yeah.
like, he wasn't just a shower shitter.
Yeah.
He was a bath shitter.
Wait, like as in, like he's sitting in the bath, like is he waiting to pull the plug, or is he just going and then being like sitting there for a while and then pulling the plug?
Does he
And then
Does he
having
let
to
it
call
steep?
someone.
Yeah.
But like that he did this enough and would call people up and say there's been a problem.
Yeah, something-
And everyone
Yeah.
comes in and has to
Yeah.
pretend like, oh yeah, well, I mean, I guess, there seems to be some blockage in the pipe, and he
Yeah.
says, yeah.
I don't know.
But
I
maybe
mean...
yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. I didn't have anything to say.
I was just gonna say,
Look,
it's-
emotions are running hot. It's okay to talk over one another.
but I think if this is the case, then maybe what he's addicted to is getting people to come and fix it because that's like there's some people who just
There's
like
a power
they
to
need
it.
a
Yeah.
shame or they need or they need a power thing because maybe the shit it's not about the shitting at all.
I don't think it would be.
You know, because if it's about convenience, if it's about just going where you are,
Yeah.
right, then why is he not just doing it in his pants? Why is he not?
It's a really
why,
good. His Speedos, please.
Yeah, his Speedos, of course. Every day is laundry day when you're Sly. He's wearing He's wearing swimmers every day. He's like, well, just in case I go in the pool. Obviously, if I need to shit.
Yeah. It's a perfect opportunity. Don't
Also,
do it.
He owns this.
Yeah,
he owns this franchise.
Well, you really can't do it in a franchise unless you own the franchise. I think that's
100%,
got to be
yeah.
one of the perks
Yeah.
of owning a franchise. Mr. McDonald, he can do a shit in
Yeah.
any McDonald's.
There's a little.
You think
in
you mean
the-
Ronald McDonald,
At the,
but
at,
yes.
at the check-in desk, there's a little photo of him, and it says, "You cannot blacklist this man, regardless of how many bathrooms he ruins."
I think that's how he got his name, Sly Stallone, is for doing a Sly in Stall 1. Is that?
Oh my god!
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, wait,
if-
Stall 1, that's a toilet, though.
yeah, that's a toilet. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that's where you start.
And that's
obviously.
no way to get a nickname. Hear this guy? Shits in toilets. I'm going to call him Sly
That's his-
Stall 1.
That's his nickname that's his call sign over the PA. It's like Air Force One. It's like, Stall 1's in the building.
Maybe the president does have a Stall 1.
You'd have to, right?
He would.
Every room he's in. Oh wait, every room Stallone is in is Stall
Stall
1.
one.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Everyone see Ad Astra?
Who cares at this point?
More like Dad Astra. Am I
Yes!
Brad Astra.
Let's do them
Brad
all.
Astra. Bad
Yeah.
Astra.
right? Sad Astra.
Sad
Yeah.
Astra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If he's unfaithful to his wife, that's a cat Astra.
Oh, very good.
uh,
Bad Disaster, if you didn't like it.
If everyone's interested-
Disaster.
Disaster.
It would be
Disaster.
Disaster. Yeah.
What a disaster.
If everyone's interested in his escapades for a while, then they're not. It's a fad Astra.
Very
Yeah.
good.
well,
We
let's
could
find
go
out.
on, and we will.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, these are
We're doing
definitely gonna come
200.
So 17. It's going to make 17 million in the US. Its opening
seems
weekend.
low.
It is because it's. It'll probably do all right because it's $80 to $87 million budget. So I think it looks like a bigger film than it
Did you
is.
say 87 million?
80 to 87 million. Yeah.
Okay. Every week, Alan Andy.
I crank out some numbers.
Yeah, James gives me a large box office figure, and I don't understand what it means. Like, he's always like, it's 17 million. I'm like, well, that seems like a lot of money to
Yeah.
me. But
It's all relative. you
How
know?
much of that money do I get? Is
Yeah.
that all mine? Or
So it is only made 17.
Yeah, just for the weekend, though. And
Okay.
that's only in the US. So
Okay,
it,
right.
it might be 25 to 30 worldwide, and I don't know. It's probably not going to go super well.
might do well in China.
Yeah, that's right. They love.
I had a
Brad
look at
Astra.
some of the like the scores, your Metacritics, your Rotten Tomatoes.
It's one of those
seem to be doing
ones,
okay.
The critics like it, but it's like 50% like
Yeah,
fan
right.
approval. Because often he's just staring out a window thinking about his dad. or
Mm.
whatever. Yeah.
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 Because do you guys still do best film, worst film?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that at the beginning or do you do it at the end?
What we'll do is we'll talk about it. We're trying very hard not to spoil it.
Yeah.
And then we'll give it a rating, and then we'll just spoil the absolute heck out of it.
I can't wait for that bit where we get to spoil
There's
it.
one action scene where I'm like, oh, that's like the spoiler moment. Where I'm like, I didn't expect that, and
Yeah.
this is happening.
Yeah.
And-
I wonder if we're talking about the
We
same one,
definitely
because there was one I certainly did not expect.
I'm
as
like,
well.
oh, it's one of these movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
If
quick.
I could mime it for you.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
You can do as much spoiler mime as you want
Absolutely.
in the non-spoiler
Don't
section.
say it. Yeah.
Until we do the video podcast.
I mean,
Yeah,
with,
which will be
with
great.
the amount of sort of staring out the window and sort of travel time kind of
Yeah.
stuff, do you think that maybe it was a short film if you took out all that stuff and you just sort of assumed that he had been traveling?
That's a good question.
Because there's
Yeah.
kind of like...
Did you guys feel the length of it? Were you like, oh, this is dragging a bit?
I personally did not at all.
Yeah.
No,
Same.
I was pretty engrossed because there's something about like the cold, dead emptiness of space that
Yes.
just makes you tense enough.
missing
I
your dad.
think, and missing dad, which I was, even though I did text my dad during the film, but that was unrelated.
Were you like, this is a cracking dad film, Dad? You're going to love this.
Dad,
Yeah.
where are you, Dad? It had me. I think like I was immersed.
Mason, I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
What did you think the story was?
Oh, no.
So I do this every episode asking what the story
No,
was.
I know what you
And I don't know what the plot is, so I scrabble for some semblance of what the plot was.
Sometimes
on
he'll
the film.
delay by explaining his
The
process.
process of what we do here at the podcast. The
Sure.
podcast, it's like a radio show for people too ugly for,
losers.
the
Jeez,
radio.
This must be interesting when he has to stall when it's just you two.
Yeah.
And he again explains
I'm like, I
to
know,
you what a
Mason, I
podcast
know.
is.
We talk about movies and comic books and TV
Yeah, I
shows.
know.
Your name's James.
I know.
You're the host of the podcast.
Ghost.
Coast, yeah.
I do
You're
a lot
the
of
East
coast.
Coast of the
that coast,
podcast,
yeah.
and I'm the West
That's
Coast of
not
the
wrong,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
this movie is a very extended metaphor for seeking your dad's approval.
Yes.
No matter how many planets you go past, maybe he still won't approve of your lifestyle. But also, Brad Pitt's an astronaut, and he's a pretty good astronaut.
Radstronaut.
Thank you.
Sorry, keep going.
Rad Astra. And then they need him for a mission.
Yeah.
A very secret mission. What's the mission? We can't tell you.
But get his dad.
Yeah, he's got to.
That's in the
find his
trailers,
dad.
right? When
Yeah,
he has to get
probably.
his
Yeah,
dad.
probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
get your dad.
Yeah, I see. I was on board for a lot of this, and I think the back end was like, I feel like this is really heavy on the dad. Why don't you like me? Why don't you like me enough? And just like a lot of looking into space, and I think
But
the
that's
action.
because your dad likes you enough.
That's probably
Yeah.
true.
He likes you just enough.
Yeah.
You've crossed the threshold of your dad liking you just enough that you.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you're probably right. But I think that like there wasn't anything gripping in the finale that there was in the first half. I think for a film that's not really an action film, there's some really good action in this non-action action film.
Totally. I also think that, like, for a science fiction film, it's not really a science fiction film, right? Like, they seem to have stripped out as much of the, like, science fiction-y kind of stuff, you know,
Yeah.
in inverted commas, that you would expect in a
And
science
added
fiction
some
film.
laser guns.
Yes. Well,
Yeah. Were they laser guns?
That's
think
a
they were
good
laser
question.
guns.
They seemed to. There would seem to be like some kind of blue thing that,
Yeah.
a blue flash at the end, but
Yeah.
then like you didn't see like a laser shoot through the air like you
You're
would
a
in your
man of
traditional
science.
laser
Do you see
gun.
a laser?
You shouldn't see a
There you
laser.
go. They're on point.
You know?
Yeah.
Unless it's an entrapment style scenario where
Oh,
they
yeah.
squirt some sort of
Yeah.
gas in the air
Sure,
so you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see the lasers.
Farts.
Farts. Is that what they use?
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
That Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Just because it does, it was a gun that didn't seem to have a projectile, but there seemed to be kind of maybe a blue light that did go. I think it was maybe a ball lightning gun.
Oh,
right.
Heard about ball lightning?
Does that have a kick to it then? Is that what that?
Look, I don't know. I don't know whether it depends on whether electrons have enough weight for there to be kickback when you sort of shoot them out of a
I
gun.
think you send enough of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
If
right,
you're really
then.
chucking those electrons, then
Yeah.
Enough to kill a man or a smallish man, hypothetically.
like
Yeah,
a small
yeah.
hairy man.
Or like a medium man.
Medium-sized man, yep. An
I
enraged medium-sized man. Yes.
I reckon they absolutely nailed the emotional part of this story.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like, as in, that was there. I reckon that was what they wrote
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
I
And
agree.
then-
Should we
and
close
then
that? We should probably close that, right?
Are you so
Sorry, there's-
uncomfortable talking about emotions that you know you
Yeah, I don't want my neighbours looking in.
doors to close. You're like,
Yeah. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's completely
Please
okay.
continue, yeah.
I feel like that's what somebody showed up who was writing this film and went, hey, there's a guy, it's a metaphor, he's going to get his dad. You know, he has to delve deep into his own mind, right? And it's about letting go of his dad. Hopefully at the end, his dad will say something like that so that we can all understand what's happening. We all get the double meaning.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a good way to put it.
Oh, great. Now, then after that, it felt like in between all those little bits, they were like, now we need to fill it with something interesting.
That
So
people will watch.
Yeah, that people will watch.
And
like they got
come
the
out of
notes
it.
back. They got the notes back and was like, "Can we fit a car chase
Yeah.
inside this exploration of a man's
Yeah.
paternal
So
instincts?"
there's moon pirates.
Yeah.
Look, I don't need an explanation for anything, and I really don't need one for moon pirates. What are they after? It doesn't matter. It's the future. The moon's got
stuff.
like a mall on it.
Yeah.
And I do like how they went like Virgin Galactic to get to the moon. Everything was commercialized, but they didn't hit you over the head with like, what's another movie that does that? I don't know. Where they're like, Fight Club. There you go. I was just watching Fight Club. I don't want to get into it. But do you know what I mean? Like, it was just, I feel like that would be the natural progression of space travel. To be like, you get to the moon and there's a Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know what I
of
mean? And it's not
course.
a big deal. Everyone's
Although
just like,
there
who gives a
is
shit?
what I did enjoy is that Brad Pitt takes a commercial flight to the moon and they charge him $120 for a pillow and a blanket.
That was probably the only joke in the film. What we haven't discussed is that this film is super serious.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the most
I
serious
think
film
it's
I've seen
too
in a
serious.
long time.
For a lot of, I think it does take itself too seriously for a lot of,
Yeah,
because there's some silly stuff in it, which is good.
And there were
There's some
probably
hairy, silly stuff.
Boy, is
you know?
there, yeah.
there were probably 3 people in the film who seemed happy, and it didn't go well for them, right? And then everyone else was sad,
Yep.
and and either bad things happened to them or didn't, but they were still sad.
And they're
pretty
trapped
sad.
somewhere
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was his character? His character, he was a guy with a low heart rate.
Yeah.
That's right,
A
yeah.
low resting heart
Yeah.
rate, even in times when things are exciting.
I felt
or
it was
scary.
a bit Blade Runner, a bit Equilibrium with the pill to kind of curve your emotions. And, in the new Blade Runner, where he has, you guys have seen the
Have
new
not
Blade
seen
Runner?
the new Blade
It's
Runner.
so good. But one of the characters in that, they have to do like a psychological test to make sure you're not like, you're still suitable to do your Blade running.
Sure.
It's pretty much the same test in this movie, right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Same test? Same
test. Just like, are you feeling good? I'm feeling good.
You doing the Blade Runner test? You ready to do the Blade Runner test? All right. You passed the Blade Runner test. Good.
Here's your gun. Here's your laser. Get out there. Yeah.
I liked how not sci-fi it was though. Like I loved how it seemed they'd gone out of their way to make it like this is a film like we're not going to give you anything that couldn't actually happen, right?
yeah.
Like it was like when we do go to Mars or go to Neptune or whatever, feels exactly like what it'll look like,
Yes.
right? People are still wearing spacesuits that look basically like spacesuits.
Yep.
People are still in rockets that look like rockets,
Yes.
seem to shoot fire out the end like a rocket does. There's none of that like weird anti-gravity hover laser.
Yeah, like
stuff.
an I always think iRobot when I think like a future where I'm like, this is what have you done here? Yeah. This felt a very like, this is 20 years from now or
But
whatever.
in a way, like I've barely seen any sci-fi that does that, right?
think
That tries to.
I love the movie Sunshine. I think that's a very
right.
good example.
Have not seen.
But yeah, it's terrific, isn't it, Mason? It's our favourite film here on the Weekly Planet.
It's all right. It's all right, I reckon.
We both love it.
Wait, this is the one where
Sounds
the guy
like you both do
the
equally.
guy stares into the sun quite a bit, and then he kind of starts to go crazy. He
Yes.
starts increasing the amount of sun that he can get into his eyes.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is more like Dad Shine.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Just constantly increasing the amount of dad.
Well,
that's not
you're trying to get
incorrect, yeah.
closer and closer to his dad,
Yeah.
rather than like going away from this. This is the opposite of Sunshine.
He has to go there and reignite the spark with him and his dad.
Oh my god.
So the relationship
God,
between
it
you
is-
and your dad is dying.
Opposite Sunshine.
But
It is.
It's
And then he
the,
finally gets to his dad, and his dad's like, "What are you doing? Not wearing a hat out there? What are you doing? Put some sunscreen on. What are you doing?"
did you notice that? Did you think that they'd done something weird to Brad Pitt's eyes to make them look more like Tommy Lee Jones's eyes? There are a couple of moments where I was like, he's got the bags. He's got exactly the same
I
bags.
was wondering that. Is it age or is it, you know what? Because he didn't have the bags at the end.
Exactly, right?
So you might be right.
I think they did some like Tommy Lee. He got the Tommy Lee Jones eye filter over him.
Oh.
Because Tommy Lee Jones is melting.
He is,
1,000 years
but like
old.
Too close to the sun.
That's right.
I would
Or not close
posit
enough.
Oh.
that Tommy Lee Jones, his entire life, has looked like the most tired man in the world,
100%,
right? Like
yeah.
that's the thing that he brings to every single role. Like whatever he plays, he's gonna look
Yep.
like he's had enough of this.
And if he does sleep, he sleeps face down in a pile of sawdust.
yes.
They pack him back in his crates. They turn him over. He goes
One
to
day
bed.
he wakes up, he's all sort of fresh faced. All right, who didn't store Tommy properly last night?
Somebody let
Get
him
me
too
some
close
salt.
to moisture. Yeah. He's not hanging off his bones like he normally is.
But I think you might be right. And I think Charlie Clausen, I saw mentioned this on Twitter, who you guys probably know from Tofop.
Yes, yes.
And many other things. But the stubble on Brad Pitt at the end might have been CGI.
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
as well.
Well, you only see a little
off,
bit of it, right,
yeah.
when they open the thing, right? But also didn't seem like enough stubble. He's been in space for at least 160 days.
Yeah.
But definitely, probably more than that.
Maybe he shaved 3 times.
So he was shaving it. He didn't feel like he was up
Yeah.
to shaving at any point.
That's
He didn't look like
probably
a
true.
guy who had the inner spark
Maybe he had
to
a
get out there.
beard trimmer. He was just doing that.
You're right. He probably had enough
In
energy for one of
In
those.
space, though, using one of those would put sort of clippings all through the air.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
absolutely right.
Right.
How do
It'd
they
be a-
shave in space?
It'd be a sort of scenario like Homer with the ants going into all the
instruments.
To answer your question, Andy, it's probably one of those things with the trimmer you put on the end of a vacuum.
Is that a thing? If that's not a thing,
That's
in
a
Wayne's
real
World.
thing. That's a real. It's normally for hair cutting. To be clear, I don't have one. I just,
Right.
Sounds like you've
I've
got
heard
one,
of. I've
Mason.
heard of.
to be clear, that's clear.
Yeah.
That's true.
How
You
do
probably
they?
know.
Like when you're going bald and then you want to like spray paint your bald spot black so that
Yep.
nobody
Yeah.
can tell.
love
How do
it.
they do that in space?
You just got to let it go
Oh yeah.
and
I
wear a
guess.
hat.
Oh
Is that what
no,
they do?
yeah, right.
Or maybe you don't go. You're like, I can't.
I'm sorry, I can't let people just because of all the angles with the cameras and everything like that.
Well,
I
and
can't.
also with the fact that anybody can get up above you, like in zero gravity, everyone can see your ball spot.
Yeah.
I guess you just have to
Yeah.
accept who you are.
Yeah.
Because when I think of an astronaut, I always think like it's always square jawed, like Neil Armstrong with the great hair. Like maybe you're shamed out of being an astronaut if you're losing your hair. You
That
know?
might be part of the selection process they got going there at NASA.
And maybe also hair has something to do with balance and things like that. And you can't
Oh, yeah.
handle as many G's maybe. So.
I think you can't have vanity as a space person though, because you're shitting into a bag or whatever in front of people. You know what I mean? I think it's not a Stallone situation where you're inviting people in to be like, look what I've done. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
true.
Yeah, I think you just gotta kind of
Yeah, well, you're probably shitting into a vacuum, just
Yeah.
like you're shaving your hair into a vacuum. I mean, what a
Hopefully
place
not the
to be
same
a vacuum.
vacuum. Am I right, everyone?
Someone should get Sly Stallone one of those vacuums.
And what if you're accidentally, you're trying to shave your head and you put the wrong attachment on the vacuum?
Oh my goodness.
Right, and then you suck the poo out of your head? Like,
Yes,
what is
correct,
the
yes.
weird... I mean,
hadn't
I
thought it
understand
through.
that there is a potential... I mean, maybe a worse one would be shaving your own bum. No, but
That might be it,
people
yeah.
do that anyway,
Yeah.
so...
Well, then I see no downsides.
Yeah.
So that's
That sounds
fine.
good to me. I thought there was a bit too much internal monologue where it's like, I understand what you're thinking, Brad Pitt, and you don't need to tell me everything.
Well, it
that
was
you've
one of
ever
those
thought.
of those ones where, like, at the end, I was like, I wonder if that was in there the whole
Like
time.
a Blade Runner original.
They added it,
Yeah, or if
Yeah.
someone told them they had to put that in, because like,
Otherwise, it's largely a silent movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's alone for most of this movie.
Yeah.
he already had that thing where he had to do the psychological tests, right, and basically explain his internal
That's
mental
true,
state,
yeah.
and that felt like, well, that's the device, right?
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
then also need an internal monologue. He's got an external monologue where he
Yeah.
talks to this little thing on his neck.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably that might be an addition. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're giving you a robot sidekick for the journey, and he
Yeah.
doesn't understand human behavior, so you're going to have to explain a lot of it to him.
This is why we laugh, kid.
Also, we couldn't afford a lot of the CGI stuff that was going to happen outside the ship, so you're going to have to explain that to the robot as well. Like, we want some pretty heavy detail on some of those
Yeah.
explosions, if you don't mind.
Also, the robot doesn't understand this Earth thing you call kissing, so we're going to have to... and we need some love scenes in this movie, so...
But genuinely, like, there's enough things in this movie that are slotted in between the sort of the main plot
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have been surprised. Like a kissing a robot scene, teaching a robot to kiss scene wouldn't seem out of place with all the other things that are kind of in between
Yeah.
there.
Look, I think that if you were sending people to Mars, right, you've got, 3 months or something, they're just going to be in a spaceship. Say you also have a robot you need to teach to kiss. Give it to the people you're sending to Mars. What else are they going to be doing?
That's
This is a
right.
perfect,
Yeah.
like it's synergy,
Yeah.
you know?
Or at least an attachment for the vacuum cleaner.
That you're going to have to teach to kiss.
Yep.
You don't want to get those confused with the bum one.
Because there'd be a comical situation occurring.
It would shoot poop into your mouth. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay,
thank
good,
you.
yeah.
Yes.
Before we get into
Or
spoilers,
best kiss you've ever had. Got to re-examine your entire life.
no, I don't want that either. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was some wasted cast in this. Ruth Negga, who plays one of the people he bumps into on Mars.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler.
Who is she?
She's from
The Walking
Preacher.
Dead and Preacher, yeah.
Yeah, what we saw of her, she was good.
Yeah, she's a great actor. Liv Tyler as well, who's kind of mostly in flashbacks and
I
video
didn't
messages.
even realize that was
Yeah.
Liv Tyler.
And Natasha Lyonne or Lewon?
Natasha Lyon,
yeah.
who's most recently been in Russian
Russian
Doll.
Doll, my
Netflix.
favorite
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
show of all time.
And when I saw her, I'm like, great. But she's just kind of like, here's your stuff, Brad Pitt. And
Yeah.
you'd never see her again. Yeah.
But I mean, that's because this film basically is about Brad and his dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brad's dad.
Brad and Dad. That's it.
Yeah. And like I get it. Like those. I mean, I didn't mind that kind of stuff. Like I think it made it pretty clear early on what this was going to be about, and then it's just that. Like it's a film about family and telling the truth, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And space.
And space.
Going
There's a lot
out
of
into
that, yeah.
space.
Yeah.
I'm going to say best movie ever with a kind of, I didn't like the way it came together. I don't think it taught us anything in the end that it didn't teach us in the first 10 minutes about loving your dad or accepting yourself. By the end, I'm like, I get it, Brad Pitt. I don't need any of this closure or whatever you're up to. Yeah. So it's more front heavy for me.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
No, Alistair, you go.
I'm gonna say if it is a movie, right? I'm sort of doubtful that it was enough.
You seem very over this review. You seem very skeptical. This was anything more than a short film initially.
Well, I mean, I think I get that there's there's such a slight story there.
Yeah.
But everything else just seemed like little bits that they kind of just slotted in that are completely unrelated.
Like we need I think, and that's kind of like
we need an opening action.
Exactly. There's like the Hollywood fallbacks of like every 10 minutes you needed something to happen that's big so we can put a movie together on this.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland is in there.
Oh,
He kind of has
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah,
in this movie.
You're right. I totally forgot him as well.
He has some he's like supposedly very important and is like, oh, I'm going to be coming with you on this journey, and then he kind of falls sick.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like I'm pretty. Oh, this is taking a lot.
I'm a bit puffed, actually.
Yeah, I think when you hire Donald Sutherland, you give him a certain amount of like food and drugs, and then he just it's like running a car with a low tank of petrol, and then at some point Donald Sutherland runs out, and then you're like, well, that's all you got out of him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and then you keep on going with your
That's probably
film.
not incorrect.
So I would say, if I have to pick best or worst movie of all time, I would say worst movie of all time, but I would say it's one of the best science fiction serious sketch films.
Another
I've
thing with
seen.
an S. Oh, god damn it.
Sketch
Situation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
because I think I enjoyed all the little bits that were like each little section was kind of its own little bit of world building. Like this antenna that goes up to space, that was cool. Like the moon pirates, that was cool.
Oh, man.
The other thing,
I think I'm with you.
That was cool.
Okay,
but let's say you took this movie and you took out all the sort of extraneous beats and you cut it down to 20 minutes. What would that be a satisfying, or would it just be, oh my God, stop narrating Brad Pitt? Oh my God, stop.
I think
stop.
that would be one of the things that you would cut out. You wouldn't need the narrating.
We get it. You miss your dad, Brad Pitt. Jesus.
Yeah. I'm gonna say best movie ever. And with no caveats. I loved it. I thought they've got their metaphor. Right, you go on and you got a good solid metaphor, and then I think they did all the right things with that metaphor. And if you're on board with the metaphor, you're like, oh, then all these other bits do feel like they can, you can reverse engineer and see where they fit and like what sort of part of the story they're telling there.
Yes.
And it worked for me, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
and there was nothing that took me out of this film in terms of its like CGI, its use of CGI, its use of real whatever it used that was real. Like
Well, the bags under the eyes.
the bags under the eyes, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
But that was at the
practical effects. I wouldn't say that I like loved it because it's not the kind of film that I love.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so good.
What kind of movies do you love?
Funny, silly films.
Oh, yeah, funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
silly,
yeah,
funny
nice,
stuff.
yeah.
Happens.
Anything National Lampoons, I assume?
Haven't seen any of those.
all right, pretty good.
Nick Mason.
I thought it was also the best movie ever. I enjoyed it a lot. I think, but and yeah, you're right. It's the just some beautiful vistas, just a nice shot, some nice shots of the moon. You'd be like, that's definitely the moon.
I wouldn't go
They've,
to the
set
moon.
up, they've set up a camera on the moon there.
Didn't make me want to go to the moon.
No.
Get out.
Didn't make me want to go to space in general, actually, I got to say.
The opposite of that.
It just felt like you could feel the recycled air. And just I don't see the appeal. But I guess if you're a rich, insane person, maybe you do want to be like, I'm going to stand on the moon and eat at Applebee's and look out the window at the moon, and I'm on the moon. There's Earth.
It'd be like a
Great.
cruise ship, kind of.
Yeah.
You're just kind of inside for a lot of it, just kind of looking out and going, this is pretty good.
I think after that film, I feel like I'm already taking space for granted. like the magic of space travel. I go, as in space exploration, I go, nah, I'm already bored with it.
I feel like I do that in life. Like I'll see a waterfall and go, I've seen better pictures of waterfall than this waterfall. Maybe that's just me. Spoilers. There's time codes, people. If you want, people know that. I'm assuming. But jump ahead if you need to. There's a baboon fight in this.
Baboon
Yes.
fight, baboon laser fight.
Oh, finally, we can all talk about that baboon fight.
Oh, the baboon in the room.
It was a Norwegian ship. Is that what it was? Norwegian.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Norwegians.
Now, why were the Norwegians taking a baboon or a macaque or no, it wasn't.
No, two macaque.
At least.
They're quite-
Baboons. I think they were baboons.
They're
Yeah.
big. They're very
Okay.
quite big.
Why were they taking it to Mars or from Mars? Like, what are they?
Yeah.
Teaching people to kiss. It went horribly
Where
wrong.
else are you going to teach
I
them
mean,
to kiss?
that baboon did kiss the hell out of one of those
Kissed the
astronauts'
nose
face.
right off that man's
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
Alistair, you've undermined your own argument. You see, that's why you got to teach him to kiss.
Yeah. No.
Oh, man.
All right,
Not
to the
eat
next
the
one.
nose. Don't eat the nose.
I was so genuinely surprised by that. And also they went, oh, this is a vessel with they mentioned something about there's creatures on this vessel or it's researching animals. And I'm thinking worms, ants, whatever.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's a fucking baboon eating a man's face. I'm like, oh my God. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, I couldn't see why this was happening.
Yeah.
And I don't see any relevance to it other than like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, but it just doesn't feel like one of those this is cool movies. Like,
Do you want to get into the metaphors of it? You know,
Of the baboon?
Of the baboon, because it is like these are humans. Humans are just monkeys in space, right? And this is what happens when you put monkeys in
yeah,
space
right.
and they go crazy and they
a big
turn on
point.
each other, right? And that's exactly what happened to Brad's dad. You know,
And Brad to
a certain
right,
extent,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh.
And also the message of the baboon is that like, because the whole point of this movie at the end is that like there are no aliens. Brad's dad's gone out there to look
I
for
don't
aliens.
think he's got it covered. I mean, he didn't check everything ever. Did
He checked pretty good. I reckon he checked
Space,
pretty
though.
good.
Big dish.
Yeah.
So you're on Brad's dad's side, where he
yeah.
reckons he needed a little bit
Oh,
more
no,
time.
of
Give the
course.
man more time.
Brad's dad fucking knock it off, obviously.
yeah.
You haven't got what it takes.
Yeah. But he didn't get every planet in the fucking universe. Is what I'm
no.
saying.
I don't think we can. I mean, obviously he needs to come home, right? But
Nah, kill him.
Either way, yeah.
should have killed him.
But like, yeah, I mean, like the whole thing with the
Nuke
the
your
antimatter
dad. That's the
thing.
lesson here. You should definitely
He's like,
nuke your
oh,
dad.
like they kind of they go back to address the antimatter thing. He goes, oh yeah, I've been trying to turn it off, but I can't. And
Yeah.
and they go, oh yeah,
Yeah, but he's still researching, but it's like, that's your priority. You're still getting data, but there's no Earth, idiot.
No, but I think that, I mean, yeah, I'm going to defend this here. Brad's dad is a monomaniac. Right,
Yes,
he
he is,
only cares about his research and this thing. He's a bad dad.
hadn't
Not
even
only does
cleaned
he
up
not
the
care about
bodies.
Brad, he doesn't even care about Brad's planet.
That's true.
He hasn't even cleaned up the bodies.
There's a guy with a
That's-
bag on his
that's-
head, just floating with blood in it, just
Yeah.
floating. It's been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
Hey, you just don't go into that room.
Well,
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
I've been busy. What can I say?
And I guess that's the beauty
Brad's
of an
dad.
airlock. You
Yes,
know, is that
that's
you
true.
don't
All the air in.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to get any smell coming in through the thing.
I googled
Brad's dad.
No, I have a Wikipedia page. Just to a previous question we had. Wikipedia page, a list of mammals of Norway, and if you go down to primates, it says human Homo sapiens. So they don't have any primates in Norway. So
Right.
Maybe
So
the
I-
only place they could justify kissing them was in space.
Space, exactly. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's illegal to do that in Norway, even future Norway, and they're like,
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
if we
yeah.
go to space, there's no rules in space. Is
Yeah,
there?
it's like international waters. They went up into international nothingness.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
There's even less rules up there.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious how Tommy Lee Jones, they just covered up for his murders, and then Brad Pitt also murdered some astronauts.
Oh my
Not
God.
intentionally, but they probably would have done the same thing where I've gone, your hero Brad Pitt, just shut your fucking mouth. All right? And
Yeah. Well, at the end, he seems to have got away with all
got
those
away with his
astronauts
murders.
he
Yeah.
killed, albeit by accident. But yeah.
Yeah, by accident, like in self-defense or whatever. Like, he was
Well,
just-
sort of, but then he was.
he did storm aboard with a gun.
Yeah, it's kind of like
For
the
no
opposite.
reason, ultimately.
Yeah.
Totally,
I
exactly.
mean, in the grand scheme of things, his dad's still dead, and he
Well,
still nuked that.
The only justifiable reason is they got the data of the planets because they were going to go there and just nuke it and leave. But he went there, got the data, nuked it.
Those
left.
empty
the other
planets.
justifiable reason, because he says you won't get there without me, right? He says that
Yeah.
to the thing.
Oh, yeah, fair point.
But the only justifiable, I mean, it seems like they totally would have because he just flew there anyway, just pretty standard
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
flying. The only reason you might have thought is because their captain was so bad, right? They had
he
that
was,
coward
yeah.
captain who couldn't hack it, didn't have the resting heart rate of an iced salamander like Brad Pitt.
I think also like your levels of acceptable astronaut would like drop. It's like people who can drive trucks. Like initially you're like you're the best of the best, but
Sure.
any license.
Yeah.
Anybody can be an astronaut. Sorry,
Eventually.
Al, you were going to say.
No. The only thing I was going to say was just that I think the only reason why I have negative feelings towards this film is because I feel like I could have written that, right?
And I would hate a film I would write.
Exactly. I think that's almost exactly that. I go, well, I could make a mess of a film like this.
Yeah.
Right? even though it's not a mess, I still enjoyed it. And
Yeah,
still
I don't
enjoyed
think
it
it
for
was a
those
mess
reasons.
at all.
Yeah.
I think it had absolutely everything in the
I'm more
right
with
place.
you than I am with these bloody chuckles.
I also feel like,
Mm.
I also feel like there was very little. There wasn't really that much of a reason to transport Brad Pitt from Earth to the moon to Mars, just to send him a little message,
like a secret message.
yeah, just get him to record it on Earth and then put in a little.
Wasn't it because they didn't want it to be intercepted? And they didn't, and so I guess they didn't want people to know that Tommy Lee Jones was alive for whatever reason.
I think it was general. It was the only installation that was still that hadn't been destroyed by the surge. Or
Oh,
something.
maybe that was it.
Yeah, they said that, and they did say it's our last safe connection or something like
Yeah.
that. So I thought, it did make it seem like there was some interception or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that was
Russian
kind of like the bits that I liked. Like I liked the world building. Like let's say the Moon Pirates. You kind of go, oh, so what they're putting in here is like it's world building, and then it's like, oh, there's no borders here, so people are just coming and killing people who are driving, so they can take their moon. Like their
Moon rocks.
moon rocks, or take
Yeah,
Moon boots.
moon boots, yeah, it's like those, get extra helmets
or
and things
some
like
sort
that.
of thing in America. I think.
Yeah.
Yum.
I think it's just trading souvenir moon rocks. I bet that's all it is.
Yeah,
Because there's
right.
nothing else on the moon.
It's like Bitcoin, but it's like this moon rock's worth a lot more. Mining for it. We've decided to mine Bitcoin for real. It's moon rocks. And we've got to get on this. But what I'm saying is, just put it on a USB, have him record it on Earth, and then send it in a.
That's a good point.
Or like.
But he's also a good astronaut, I guess, and they
Yes.
need somebody.
I mean, a lot of
to-
people
to
died on the
deliver
way,
it.
but all right.
Yeah, but he got there, didn't he?
guess so.
He's good enough an astronaut to
Yeah. But also, you could probably just
shoot a baboon in space.
Or you could just deep fake him on Mars.
No, good
You
point.
could just be like, we've got enough footage of you, Brad Pitt. Let's just.
But you'd still have to send a person, though, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could send probably a rocket nuke directly to where Tommy
To
is.
Neptune, yeah.
Did they know exactly where he was?
I don't know.
I figured.
Well,
the
they thought
nuke's
they
probably
did, but
smart
remember
enough.
he got there and the orbit had degraded and it wasn't in the right place, and he had to do the thing.
right, yeah,
This is
yeah.
the only like all the little mechanical bits and pieces of how things work together in space and that sort of thing. They really seem to have thought through. The biggest problem for me was the bit where he just grabs that little bit of metal and jumps off one spaceship,
massive problem
through
with
the
that.
goes
debris of-
through the rings of Neptune and lands on the other spaceship.
Like that wouldn't take like a week to travel through, or however long.
Yes.
Like I don't know
Yeah.
how thick they are, but
yeah,
he
right.
made it seem like they're sort of 15 meters.
And then he just
I
blasted
think
his
they
way
are-
back to Earth.
Yeah, riding a nuclear wave.
Hey, remember the time you couldn't get from Earth to, you had to go from Earth to the Moon to Mars to then to Neptune? Well, just shoot through to Earth.
rode
I
a
reckon.
nuclear
Yeah,
wave.
I guess he did.
If you wanted to start poking holes in the whole thing, right?
And we do.
Like, it does seem to me like all the really implausible stuff happened after that bit where he was wrestling with his dad
Yeah.
in the middle of space.
So maybe all the implausible stuff was a dream.
Well, I mean, I hate films where his
dad killed
and
him?
I don't like those
Dad
kinds of
killed him.
interpretations.
Yeah.
But like,
His dad killed him.
well, I mean,
didn't like him.
That's there as an option because all that stuff after that, I was like, hey, you're really surfing a nuclear explosion
Yeah.
all the way from Neptune back to Earth and like getting the angle right. and everything.
Yeah, he
got
hit
an
it
angle to get
dead
right,
on.
yeah.
Also, I think this is true of Jupiter. If you go through it, like the rings of, I don't know whether true for Neptune, you wouldn't even see another piece of debris.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't know, like because the space between them. I don't know whether that's true. of Neptune.
Sure.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I
It
mean,
seemed like 50 feet of like
It did, yeah.
debris.
it was sort of it was gravity rules, like the
Yes.
movie Gravity. So like it was kind of the way that they would go from the Mir space station to the Chinese space. Mir wasn't there in that movie, but the International Space Station to the Chinese space station, things like that, and they could just go, oh, quick, use the fuel in my little tanker thing to travel, 500,000 miles or whatever like that in 8 minutes, like that. So there was sort of those rules applied to it, and obviously you just you just got to do it for simplicity,
And for the metaphor.
and for
The metaphor still holds up, right?
But his dad shot him.
Oh yeah, he's dead. It's
Or
a dream.
bag on the head.
Bag on head. While he was up there, he had a lot of time to perfect that head bag technique of his.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why his dad left the spaceship in the first place. He
Because
could
they loved space.
Yeah, because I know he loves space, but you go but if you're gonna go and try and kill yourself or whatever, why not just stay there and do your work anyway that you're trying to do and you think is so important? If you think it's more important than life itself, then you would continue rather than it's just kind of that weird part where like Brad's putting his suit on and he's just kind of sitting there like a grumpy old man.
Yeah, like dressing a baby.
Yeah, he's like dressing him like a baby and he's just going like, oh, I guess I'm gonna go with you, yeah. Like that.
What I think it might be was that to get Brad Pitt back, he's like, I'm gonna. So then Brad Pitt puts his suit on because maybe Brad Pitt wouldn't have gone. Because what's he going back to Earth for? Nothing. And he wants his data to get back to Earth. Yeah. He doesn't love Brad Pitt. He'd kill him if he had to.
Yeah.
But he's like, my data's important. The data will get back. Yeah. I'll pretend I'm going to go, and then I'll shoot off into space. Then he'll have to. Yeah, and then there's a dad nightmare. Shut up. Yeah. He sucks. And it's good that he's dead.
Like the bit where he's putting the clothes on his dad and that stuff, it's all quite tender. It's quite nice. Isn't it? And like it has that real sort of vibe of like, parents are like senile in a nursing home and you got to go around there and help them get into their dressing gown or whatever. Yeah. And I reckon his dad would have had no muscle tone by the end.
Yeah.
Right? Like he would have been so floppy.
That's Tommy Lee Jones though, isn't it?
Yeah. Floppy Lee Jones.
I think maybe
Tommy No Bones.
Yeah. Damn it! All right, Floppy No Bones.
I believe it. And he's the new co-host. He's defeated me in whatever this was. So
I watched Solaris in preparation for
Oh, yeah.
this.
Is that
I was
Clooney?
like,
Is that George
New
Clooney
one
in that?
or old one?
no, the old one.
Yeah, right.
The Russian one. And I think maybe I set myself up because like you think a movie is good because you don't understand what happened, right?
Yeah, okay,
and that's kind of what happens with that one. It's kind of another one where he's an emotionless guy and then he goes up there, but there's some need to sort of impress his dad as well. Like he doesn't have a strong connection with his dad, but then at the end of the movie he comes back and you see that he has a connection with his dad, even though he seems to be now on the island of one of the islands on Solaris. But there's all these weird things that happen in space, right? And I think maybe because I saw this movie, I saw Ad Astra, and I understood it. I went, oh yeah, they put it all there. They made it clear. It's like he's like, let me go, that whole thing. It's like, oh yes, you made it very obvious what you're trying to say. You know, the metaphor and everything like that. I think because of that, I go, oh, this is garbage. It's like good art. You don't understand. You don't get anything out of it.
Anything that I can understand sucks.
Yeah.
So for me, right, I would have taken out Brad's voiceover. I probably would have taken out that line from Tommy Lee Jones. Definitely. Let me go or whatever it was that he said.
No, Dada, or whatever Brad was doing.
Yeah. But like I would have still kept the bit where Tommy Lee Jones said, I never cared about you or your mum.
That was pretty brutal. It was like one of the first things he said when he arrived in the ship after.
I just love space. That's what I love.
Just look at a dead planet.
Not you look good or anything like that. Or nice.
Oh, they mustn't have played this recording to you when I sent it back to Mars. That was what he would have said on the message.
Don't come.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been, right?
Yeah.
I've been like, what could that mean? Because he goes to Mars and he sends the message, and then they get something back from Tommy Lee Jones, but then they don't tell him what it is, and they just send him away. And I was wondering what it was. It was probably something like that.
Yeah. Well, it would have been, hey, son, great to hear from you. Anyway, I'm still up here, but I don't really want to see you because I don't care about you. But keep up the good work, and I'm proud that you're at least you became a spaceman. I think we would have worked well together, probably.
Sorry about the antimatter blast that is destroying Earth. I couldn't fix it.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated. And, you know what I'm like on floppy or no bones. Pushing buttons is hard.
I got to save up all my energy for the look for aliens button. I pressed that heaps.
How many planets did he get? Like maximum 100,000?
He looked at every planet.
There's no way.
Well, I'm sorry, he
Isn't the
said,
universe
are you
expanding?
calling him a liar now?
He said, I looked at every planet.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could even find them. Some of them would be behind other planets.
He looked at them.
And some would be behind black holes, and you wouldn't be able to get around
Gravitational lensing.
Yeah.
And
he's got an enhance button.
Yeah. And rotate.
Well, they
There's a
didn't
rotate knob.
mention that. They didn't mention the base.
it's true.
What a big button that says enhance.
I also would have taken out the front cover of the National Geographic that was stuck to his wall and Tommy Lee Jones's
Is
thing.
There life in
Is there
other
life? And he'd
planets?
written the word yes on it three times.
times.
Yeah.
No, I get it. He thinks there is life.
Yeah. Do you think
Would you have kept the monkey fight in?
Absolutely, I would have kept the monkey fight.
have in fact rewritten this entire movie so it's like a The Raid style movie where it's just an astronaut fighting through multiple levels of a space station filled with monkeys.
Well, he blasts to separate space stations, and
Yeah,
each one is filled with a different
Dixie's
genus
safe.
of monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to be like a crocodile station, just different stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Also, why did Tommy Lee Jones? Weren't they trying to get out of the solar system? Wasn't
I
that
think
the
it was
idea?
just monitoring.
No,
Is that
he
the
was.
idea?
So he had to go. I think he says early on, "I've got to go beyond the Earth's heliosphere, where there's
Too
no
much
interference." And so
I thought it
that's
was the sun. Yeah, outside of the.
the sun's
Too much
heliosphere.
damn noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I thought he was supposed to leave the thing, and I was like, well, then why did they stop? Why did they stop at Neptune?
No.
And just kind of be like, because but why would he stop at Neptune anyway if he's trying to Anyway, I guess he wanted to come back at some point.
No, they were never going to come back. That was
yeah,
the thing. It was a
That's
one-way
why he
mission.
killed everyone.
Yeah, because they kept saying, we obviously haven't found anything. We'd like to go back now. And
Yeah.
What if Brad Pitt gets there and he realizes that the whole time Tommy Lee Jones has just been looking at Pluto, like the camera's just been looking directly in the wrong direction, and he's like, I haven't seen anything in 16 years.
He gets there. He looks at the thing. You left the lens cap on the bloody telescope. Oh, you nom.
I just can't work out this thing, but I've been taking some photos on my iPad. And look, that's some great photos. Look, here we go.
It's not syncing up to the ship's computer, but I can't. But if you could do something about that, yeah.
I would have loved it if that had been how this whole thing ended. Just a whole lot of comedy about how boomers don't understand
Now that's funny.
technology.
Oh my god, incredible. Anyway, that's anything else, or is that Brad's Astra?
I probably feel like I got other things to say, but I thought it was real good.
Have you guys been watching any or listening to anything else this week? Normally we have a segment called What We Read and What We're Gonna Read, but if you guys
We
would
can do
like
that
to,
now. Do you want to cut to that now?
let's do it.
All right, I'll put in the theme song. I have to literally put in the theme
Sure,
song.
sure,
If you Just
sure.
give me a minute. If everybody could just shut up for just a fucking second. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, it's fine.
Remember, you're gonna have to mute.
Da,
full
da,
mic.
da,
This
da,
is gonna be a real
da, da, da,
situation.
You know it. What are we reading today? Welcome, everybody, to the What We're Reading segment. You guys made it.
Thank you.
drifted over.
This is like getting to sit, doing a stand-up set on a late-night talk show, and they invite you over to the desk to have a little chat to Leno or something like that.
Absolutely
I do
it
see
is.
you as the Leno.
We are the
But
Leno
you-
of
And you, I see you as the Andy Richter.
Even
though he's not even on
teamed up
Leno.
for some reason. I love it. They formed an alliance against Conan. I enjoy that a lot.
Have you guys been watching, reading, doing anything of note, of interest?
You
Doesn't
know
have to be good.
I just started listening to this podcast called Suggestible, which is all
Such a
about
good show. Oh my
such a good
goodness.
show.
God.
But
one of the
literally,
best, isn't it,
I can't
Mason?
have my recommendation be somebody else's recommendation podcast. But at the moment, I'm not consuming that much new stuff. I
Yeah.
just don't have time or
As a
brain.
dad. Yeah, I
you know,
getcha.
rewatching some old Seinfeld. That's the big thing I'm
Is that
getting
new
into.
on Netflix or something, or Stan? It's on. one of
It's
those.
just been on Stan for ages, and
Yeah.
I'm just watching
Netflix
Stan.
2021 or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Oh my
2020 or
goodness! Can't
whatever?
wait for the switch over.
Yeah.
Just rewatched the contest episode. You know,
Ah, yeah.
Hello.
that's a classic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Kramer-
Seinfeld, check
Kramer
it
couldn't
out.
last. He was bloody 5 minutes back.
That's right.
He's out.
So Kramer.
Do you guys often feel like you're watching the same episodes of Seinfeld over and over again? Like there's 100 episodes you haven't seen? Because I feel that often. I feel I've seen that one a lot. The black and white cookie episode.
Yep.
Yeah, the Bobka.
Soup Nazi episode.
of course, yeah.
Not the Super Nazi. I'm not in favor of that.
For me, I think it's the bad episodes that I feel like I've seen over and over again, because whenever you watch a bad episode, it's just so painful. You're like, oh no.
It's like season 1 where it's a different Jerry's dad or
Yeah,
something. Or
that's
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
I think the one where the cop is getting the muffin in the thing while George wants to get. There's somebody who wants to beat him up outside, and then the cop
Crazy Joe Davola.
Yeah, that's right. And then like I've seen that one so many times where George is like, "Wait, you're getting a muffin now?" He's like, "I got hungry," and it was like the cop from Police Academy, and so I keep thinking of that guy coming out of the ground like all painted up. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I've been watching.
Be honest, was that the worst recommendation you've ever had?
My own
on
podcast, the other one that I do.
No, Seinfeld.
No, it's whatever, isn't it? It's really whatever
Would
we.
you recommend
yeah.
comedians in cars getting coffee? His Netflix TV series.
I haven't seen that much of it, to be honest.
If you want guys going, you can't joke about anything anymore.
Yeah.
Then you'll love it.
In cars getting coffee.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I've been watching a lot of variations of different Transformer TV shows.
Oh,
Because,
Beast Wars?
Beast Wars is one of the ones that's not in circulation because my son has started getting really into Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
There's Rescue Bots.
Does
which
he want some Transformers? Because I have a lot. I cleaned out my parents' house
I
recently.
mean, he would absolutely love
I'll
that.
see what I can
A
find.
lot of them are too complicated for him, but he will grow into them.
I'll take out all the small moving parts.
Yeah.
They won't transform anymore.
Just a miscellaneous body parts.
Yeah.
Just glue it into a car form.
Yeah.
He only turned 4, but like we found some that are like turned into a tanks, and it's sort of like a 35 move transformation, and you kind of
Yeah.
go like they're great, and he'll eventually grow into them if he still likes Transformers in 3-4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're complicated, and I understand some of the older ones are probably more like that, where they didn't think at all of the age of the people that they were aiming for.
Yeah.
At the absolute nadir of the Transformers toy franchise, they had Transformers called the Action Masters. And they didn't transform at all.
Just like
They were
G.I.
just robots.
Oh,
And
they-
But they had like, if it was like a plane chest.
Yeah.
Like a what's a plane? What's the front of a plane called?
the nose cone.
The nose cone. Yeah. So it's like they look like they
Yeah.
should, but they
Right.
don't.
But then all these other toys would like I had Ninja Turtles that would transform.
Yeah.
We had
Oh, yeah.
like a shredder that would turn into like that big digging underground car that he had.
The reverse helicopter.
The reverse helicopter. Yes.
Yeah.
We had a Splinter who would turn into I think the
I remember those.
the van like Ninja Turtles van. Anyway, so I've been watching a lot of that. There's Rescue Bots,
Yes.
right, which is kind of like a much more sort of kid friendly one. They're sent there. It's a lot of the same old story, but they have some new characters.
Yeah.
Then now there's Rescue Bots Academy.
Oh, where you
like
learn
the
to be
new
a rescue
class?
bot.
Yeah, it's like they've off the back of the success of Rescue Bots, they've found a way of inventing sort of young Transformers
Yeah, right.
who are going
Yeah.
through Rescue Bot Academy. So I don't know if
And Rescue Bot puberty.
yeah, and if Transformers are now breeding, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how they were built originally.
They did that in the 80s, but instead of like grandfathering in like new Autobots, they just killed a bunch of them, and they killed Optimus Prime and a bunch
Yeah.
of, we talk about this all
Yeah,
the time.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, we found at an op shop the like 5 seasons of the old one as well. So we're watching that, and that one is kind of a bit more. It's kind of more fun. It's kind of because it's kind of more colorful. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Otis now has some things that he says from that. He's like, "Bye bye, fish face." That's the
Nice.
kind of stuff that are that they kind of say. In the
Freedom
show.
is the right of all sentient beings.
yeah.
He started saying. Yeah.
Absolutely. But then there's also Transformers Prime, and there's also Transformers Robots in Disguise, and these are like 4 different ones that are all on Netflix at the moment.
Okay, all right. So check some of them out.
Check some of them out. I don't know if they're for anybody our age.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I think maybe Robots in Disguise and Prime are kind of slightly more adult.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I find Voltron like that, the new Voltron. Your son might like that. My
Yeah.
son loves the new Voltron.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I will see.
And it's also like, as an adult, you're like, this has got some themes and shit.
Yeah.
That's what I say to my son. It's got some fucking themes.
Yo, bro. You call your son bro? I call
Yeah,
my
I got
son
this,
bro.
bro. Yeah.
Here's something else I can recommend.
Yeah.
The X-1 sci-fi, old sci-fi serials that they have on Spotify. They're from NBC from I guess like the 50s, the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah.
They're radio serials, and they're written, like a lot of them are written by, some of the names that you now recognize, like Isaac Asimov and Robert Heinlein and that sort of thing. And some of them are good, some of them are terrible, but all of them are fun to listen to because they're all, those 50s voices, and it's all like people from that era being like, what would it be like if we went into space? I guess people would kind of talk like this. And
Oh, hey, boss. Yeah, there was one that kind of started something strange about Michael because he is a homicidal maniac.
So is this X-1 50 science fiction golden age vintage?
yeah, there's a whole lot of different albums
Yeah,
and
right.
playlists and that sort of thing. There's heaps and heaps of it on there, and it's just fun to listen to.
You don't see much of the old serialized.
Because you like the Superman one, don't you?
from back in the
The old
day.
Superman serial one. Is that right?
Superman?
Yeah, Superman. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is that you? Yeah, I thought that was you. What have you been reading?
The
gonna read.
Between Two Ferns, the movie is
that
out on it's on
good?
Netflix. It's barely a movie, but it is very funny. There's no plot really to speak of, but it's just
My brother.
Zach Galifianakis in a series of unfortunate, awkward conversations.
So literally, is it just back to back?
No, it's basically the premise. Well, it is that, but the premise is basically it's a documentary documenting Zach Galifianakis going from his starting point in public access television. He's making a documentary about where he started in interviewing and sort of going cross country, and he's going to record a bunch of interviews while going cross country, and then he's gonna hit LA big time, and that's when he's finally going to be a star. And it's him and his producer, who's played by Lauren Lapkus.
Yep.
And it's very, and there's a series of awkward interviews, and there's a lot of cameos. It's funny. It's you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna love that.
I heard it was fine to bad.
I like
yeah.
it. So
Except for the interviews.
You probably heard that from people with tastes.
I heard it from my brother, the one you don't like.
Well, one of the reasons I don't like him.
Yes.
Fun, just out of like while we're talking about like sort of fun little comedy movies, just ones that I've never seen get popularity. There's one called Punching the Clown, right? And it's just by this Henry Phillips, right? He's a musical comedian who must have just made this. I think is it Punching the Clown?
2011, Punching the Clown.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like it must be a low budget kind of like just comedy film that was made by him, and it's quite funny. But I've never heard of anybody who's heard of it before. And it's kind of like it's a little bit like in the way that Tim and Eric made that $1 billion movie that was kind of like it really flew under the radar, and it's it's still funny in its own right, but it's like you just never see it. And Punching the Clown, he just has a very like understated kind of humor style. Like for example, like he shows up to it. It's like it's probably based mostly around his life, but like this idea of like you have to go to a radio interview to promote your gig that you're doing, and then he's got to like they're like, oh, well, we're gonna play your song live. He's like, well, this song has a swear word in it. He's like, well, what we'll do is we'll turn the volume down when the swear word comes, and we'll turn up your mic, right? And you can say another word instead, and like that. And then they kind of miss it, so they goes fuck on the radio, and then he turns up the mic, and then Henry goes, oh fuck, like that, that kind of like dumb shit. But like it's just a real fun, like kind of he's
bit of a hidden gem.
Yeah, a real hidden gem.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen I Think You Should Leave, which is also on Netflix? That it's a series of.
Yeah,
You didn't care for it?
So funny.
we
No,
love
it's
it.
so
okay,
good.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
I don't know that at all.
I think we mentioned a while back, but it's his name's Tim
Robinson.
and it's like a series of kind of surreal sketches and characters.
Okay.
It's very
But if
true.
you liked that and you haven't yet discovered, he's also in another Netflix series called The Characters. He has one episode of that's his own episode, and also very, very funny.
Looking that up. I'm watching that soon. Right after I watch. So this week, I thought we'd put this out to the listeners because we're doing Joker soon. We talked to you guys about this before the show. We're seeing it this Thursday, aren't we, Mason? Yes. We're very excited, we think.
media screening, the most twisted screenings of all.
Oh my goodness. Free cold popcorn. But basically we wanted to, this is your idea, that we thought we'd do an edgy movies episode next week. And what are some movies that are were real edgy and rad at the time, but now not so much necessarily. I think some may hold up and some won't. Some examples that we've got. I'm watching Fight Club again. Falling Down, you mentioned. What was
Taxi Driver.
I think that would definitely hold up.
That still holds up. We'll put it
American Psycho.
Yep,
Yes.
that's a great one. Reality Bites, Hackers, anything that was
Did anyone think Hackers was edgy?
I think it was supposed to be edgy, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't.
We'll discuss it off. This is an off-air conversation.
Sure.
Is
We'll have
swordfish in there? That was supposed to be edgy.
Oh my
and then,
God.
We've been
Swordfish.
looking for an excuse to talk
To
about
watch
Swordfish,
Swordfish.
actually. So, yeah.
Oh, so edgy, getting blown while hacking a mainframe.
Oh my God. We should watch that just for the. There's a lot of John Travolta spinning around in a car while firing TV shots. With a long, glorious hair.
those scenes.
Yeah. So we should get to that, I think. Yeah.
I know that this is sickening that I'm going to do this. Okay. Now, I'm not recommending this, but as you all know, that I do a guided meditation podcast on this network
It's great.
called,
It's so
called
funny.
Shusher
Yeah.
Guided Meditations.
And
which,
relaxing. Sorry.
well, thank you very much. And as you know, I made it to make it funny, right? But a lot of people have been telling me they've been using it to fall asleep. So it's very insulting to the quality of the comedy that I make. And so a lot of people find it very relaxing. But I just need to read one review that I've got for this
Please.
podcast.
Oh my God.
Out of the
We would love
28. Because you might know it as relaxing or funny, right? But this is one review that I got. The subject is Best Buddy for a Girl, right?
Okay.
And it says, I love this podcast. I hope you guys know this is the best to masturbate to. I had been looking for so long. Thank you.
Wow.
masturbating to all the best podcasts unsuccessfully.
I think she tried with you guys, and I'm not saying it didn't work.
Yeah.
And it may have worked, and it probably
Doesn't sound like it worked.
No, but it didn't work as well as other things.
I understand. Sure. Yeah.
And so, and I'm sorry I just took a shit on your podcast by reading that out. But
you really still owned us. Made us
I really was stamping that shit through the plug hole
of your podcast.
by reading
literally
out the
the plug hole.
Shusher guided meditations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
Well, I'll link
everybody.
that below as well. I think, though, there is some crossover between... I don't think your podcast is a sexual podcast, necessarily.
It's not
but,
at
but
all.
It's whatever you can get out of it. But, like, there's
But
that...
you have a sexual energy.
Yeah, that's what's coming through.
Yeah, I think
But,
so,
like, there's that ASMR kind of... I think there is that crossover. There can be of, like...
Yeah, right. I would have never considered that. There's an episode where I talk about a guy who turns into a moon, right? Like a reverse werewolf story. I don't know which one she could possibly. There's an episode where I talk about having multiple backs. How many backs could a person have, right? I don't know which episodes that she's doing this.
Probably
to.
all.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
yeah. I hope. Yeah. Anyway.
I'll link that below as well, though.
So-
yeah.
All right, while we're just randomly shoveling things in, this is my idea.
I'm ready.
Right? You know how the Joker, everyone's obsessed with him having different origin stories?
Yeah, what's he
about?
Right? Here's my Australian Joker origin
Loving it
story,
already.
right? And he's just a bloke who drank the beetroot juice out of a beetroot can, right? That's how he got that face.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And other than that, he's just a regular guy.
but he's a bit of a joker.
But he's a larrikin.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
larrikin, yep. Uh-huh.
He's called the larrikin.
He's larrikin. He's a larrikin, and he's all about being a larrikin, which in most cases is just bullying.
Yeah.
That's what he does, really.
Which I guess it looks like that's what the Joker's doing in this next
Yeah.
movie.
I think he's being bullied a fair bit.
Yeah, but everything's
Yeah.
got to have an. That's the origin story of his bullying other people.
You're right.
I love that. The larrikin. I'll link that below as well.
Thanks. I'll be
larrikin,
really
yeah.
interested to see what you link to.
Yes. So, two in the think tank, obviously. Shusha, the larrikin. Is there anything else that you guys are involved in at the moment that you'd like to mention? Your comedy show, I know, has been and gone.
Been
just
and
for this
gone,
year, but you
been
might be
and gone.
filming it, is that right?
Yeah, we might be doing that at some point, but I
Then we
can't.
might film
can't
Magma.
Very exciting.
yeah.
But thank you guys so much for having us
Absolutely,
on here.
anytime. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for inviting us on your show. Right, Mason? We both feel like that.
You are the
Yes.
best.
It was the greatest pleasure of our lives to have you
Wow.
on. Yeah.
Great. Okay, whatever the next segment is, isn't
Nice.
Letters.
it? Oh, yeah.
Andy's
You know
up
letters.
with it.
You know it.
Al is not.
I have no idea.
Okay, good. Both of those are valid positions to have. Oh, there's a knock at the door.
Who is it? Who is
Who
it?
could that be?
What is it?
It's the next segment arriving.
Already?
Yes.
Man, this podcast is flying by.
I know.
It's too long already. I'm having a good time, though.
I'm having a good time too. All right, let's do this.
It's weird how Andy and Al left so silently.
They did.
And then there was a knock at the door. There wasn't even an exchange of what was happening. Nobody passed each. I don't know.
Yeah, right. We're weird.
What?
Oh, it's the Andy and Al extraction team. They're here to remove Al and Andy silently.
So, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna do letters.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
We're going to here right now. We're gonna do letters. Yeah, nice.
Hey, man. Let us segment.
Hey.
Hashtag, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod, obviously.
Yes.
And when we talk letters, you can shoot one over to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
Mason's all over it. And I'm at hashtag Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter. You can just tweet them straight at us, whatever
That's
you want to
right.
do.
Top result here. We've got some new matches on AsianDating.com.
Oh, finally.
Yep, that's right in
How
there.
many we
Hasn't
got?
hasn't
How
gone
many
to
we got?
Hasn't gone to spam for some
How many we
reason.
got?
I'm not clicking on that because it'll do something weird with my phone.
How many we got?
Oh, we've got 8. We've got 8 new matches apparently. The first one's Charles 32.
I need a new wife because of that guy that stole my
My
wife
wife,
during the
right?
Rambo screening.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, look, I'll get out of that. I'll get out of the promotions bit. This is from Eric Sherwood. Who's the best Commissioner Gordon? Which depiction of Jim Gordon is the best? I assume it's either Ben McKenzie in Gotham or Gary Oldman in the Dark Knight trilogy. Unless it's J.K. Simmons, which for script reasons they might have called Commissioner Boredom. Bam.
I think he could have been very good if
Yeah.
they'd have given him more to do. But you're quite a fan of Pat Hingle, aren't you?
From the original, from
Yeah.
the 1980s Batman movies, yes, I am.
I can't distinguish him from the Commissioner Gordon from the 60s. I know they look different, but I just see the same guy.
Have you seen the clip? It went around the internet briefly, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's the clip from the Batman TV series where Batman and Bruce Wayne have to have a conference call.
I remember seeing that at the time
In the 60s.
when I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
I'd seen that before. Yeah, incredible.
And that's the thing, because it's fun as a kid.
Yeah.
But as you watch it like critically as an adult, you're like, oh, he's doing a
Getting
heck
into
of a
it.
performance there. Yeah, he's bloody nailing that.
He's more man than a different man.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree?
You better believe it.
I do believe it. Yeah.
Look, whoever does the Commissioner Gordon voice in the Arkham games,
Oh yeah, who does?
because that's a lot of work.
Yeah. He's
That's so many
recording
lines.
A million hours of
Yeah.
lines or whatever. Yeah. Good work, that guy.
Yeah, good for you, that guy.
I think I'm gonna say. Yeah, I like Gary Oldman. I like Gary Oldman a lot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He brings a lot to that role. I put that gun on my son! Remember that bit?
Yeah.
And he drives a tumbler or whatever. Remember? He's like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, no, it's right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
What? Wow, do you want me to do a letter now?
Please do it.
Okay, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. This is from David S.W. Just rewatched Iron Man 2008. Struck me as interesting that Tony is in legitimate danger during the final battle. Brackets, emergency power and glove off. It's true. Whereas in the sequels, if he's in the suit, he's safe. Thoughts?
How safe is he in Iron Man 2?
Well, in the racetrack, not as much, I guess, because he's in the whatever. And then at the end, he's mostly he's mostly safe for a lot of. I mean, he fights Thanos and it's kind of whittling down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's always the case.
Yes.
Like, there's moments where he's vulnerable, but a lot of time, like the Chitauri invasion, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
He's sitting pretty in there. He's got a
Sitting pretty
TV.
there, exactly. He's fighting
got a
in
popcorn
Ultron.
maker.
Yeah, he's fine. Doesn't give a shit. Whatever.
That's true.
I mean, there is that suit that explodes if you touch it from Iron Man 3. Remember, it hits
that's
the
true.
truck and it just like if he was in that, Jesus,
Right?
dead.
What's even the point of it?
What is the point of it? But it's
Exactly.
the only one he had. Just kidding. He had a bloody room full of them that he could have called at any time that he didn't.
Let's never mention those movies again. I'm done with them.
No, you're not.
No, I'll never be done with them. This is from Alan Duxfield. It says the title is Ad Astra is a film.
It is.
Hey guys, love the podcast. Oh, that's nice. I just saw Ad Astra, and during it, I thought of the discussion about films versus movies on the pod last week. And Ad Astra is for sure a film. It will probably be studied in classes somewhere. It certainly will not be everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. But I know my mate who loves the Transformers movie would be bored, which is how I judge if something is a film or a movie.
And your mate's dumb.
Whoa!
No, like we're doing.
Why are
Good
they
on
even
him.
mates?
That's
Original Odd Couple. That's from Alan. Good question. Will this be studied?
I think so. We didn't. We probably should have talked about this more, but I think in 5 years, like we'll get a lot of, or even but the internet's quicker than that now. But there'll be a lot of like underrated. Bloody check this out.
Yeah, right.
Because it's smarter than you think it is, or whatever. I got it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if.
It's not Space Odyssey or whatever, or the movie Sunshine, which
I
we
think
both
maybe scenes of it might be studied.
Sure, yeah.
But I feel like the overarching metaphor is too obvious.
Yes,
Maybe
because they say it.
they say it with words.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. But I think it'll definitely be on those lists of like underrated sci-fi.
Yeah,
or
for
whatever.
sure. Yeah.
It'll be that, and the one where Tom Cruise can time travel, and he's in a mech suit or whatever.
Yes. Edge of Tomorrow.
And they'll put in Primer, obviously, and something else. Man from Earth, probably.
Yeah. Right.
There's your list.
Yeah.
There's your list.
Have you seen Primer?
Watch Mojo or whatever.
Have I seen Primer?
I haven't.
Yes.
Well, because initially with Andy and Al, we were thinking of a topic.
Yeah.
And we were going to do.
We really put them through the ringer.
We really did.
We were like, first of all, watch it.
Yeah.
Because they watched it last year.
Yes. And then we missed that.
Yeah.
And then we were going to do sci-fi because they're big sci-fi guys.
And then we were going to do
Rambo.
old Rambo.
Yeah, but then
no,
one
we
of
were
them
going to do
was sick.
we're going to do all Stallone
Yes,
films.
but
So
then
they
one of
all
them was
so they
sick.
all watched a bunch of Stallone
Yep.
movies.
And then we just went whatever.
Yes.
And then I'd forgotten that Ad Astra was about the same week as Rambo, so we switched to that. So there, what a journey! But we can talk about it here, which is great. We're giving you a peek behind the curtain, everybody.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Worth it.
Agreed. Yeah.
This is from Alex Brindle.
Hello, Alex.
I saw Stallone at Cannes 2019.
And
Let's see.
did he shit in anything?
Doesn't seem that way. It says here, to be fair, overall, he actually came across as a really smart man who genuinely seemed quite down to earth, and he told stories with real humor and insight. But you could smell his aftershave from half a mile away.
Whoa.
Oh, I know, right?
One of those guys.
But was it expensive aftershave is the question.
It doesn't matter if you're putting that much on.
That's
It's
true. It
relevant.
really gets up in the nostrils, doesn't it? Yeah.
It could be, it could be bloody bug spray for all
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
It's
It's a dab. It's just a dab if you're going to use it at all.
Exactly. Apparently, he talked about how during the 80s, studios tried to get him and Arnold in movies together multiple times, but at every meeting they tried to one-up each other, always needing a bigger gun or bigger sword than the other, so ultimately the movies never happened. Well, that's kind of what's happening now with your Stathams and your Rocks. So maybe it's for the best that never happened.
Yeah.
Because
it's
otherwise...
better in your mind.
Exactly.
I mean, they eventually did it, but it was like 2016 and who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Escape Plan?
Yeah,
Right.
one.
Escape Plan.
And I know he was also in the first Expendables, but it was like a brief
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I've heard good things from people who've met him or have stories, regales and such, yeah. This is interesting, I think, Mason. This is from Sal Crivelli. He's over at Comic Pop. He does a great, he's got a great YouTube channel. They did this thing called Back Issues, which is similar to what we do in Caravan of Garbage, except they're more knowledgeable.
Oh,
and
yes?
they like go through like an old comic or a recent comic or whatever, just like a run, and it's a good show. Anyway, check it out. Anyway, he says, can the Muppets ever be relevant again, or are they just nostalgia relics? We didn't really get them here as much, maybe, or did we? And I missed it.
Yeah, we got the Muppets.
But not like it wasn't a big thing here, was it?
It was a big thing.
It was a big thing here, everybody. We all remember it and loved it. I mean, I remember like Muppet Babies and obviously Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing here.
Yeah.
But
they played the Muppet Show on like Saturday
I don't think I ever really saw
evenings, maybe?
You a fan?
Yeah, I love the Muppets.
But do you think it's one of those things, because they've tried to bring it back a couple of times. There was the movies, and they made a sequel with Ricky Gervais that didn't do as well.
Yeah, right.
Then it came back as a show, which they cancelled. Then they were going to bring it back again for Disney Plus, and they recently pulled the plug on that. Or maybe it was Apple TV.
I think they have to what they have to do is drill down to the core of what the Muppets are. Like, because
Felt.
Oh my God, that's it. Because that's what successful reboots drill down to what the core of the character is or whatever,
Sure.
and build on that. So
you don't necessarily do the same version or a similar version of the Muppet Show that it used to be.
Yeah.
But do you think there could be something that you do like a version like that from the 70s and 80s, and then a new movie's coming out and they get in your action stars and they do a funny parody together or whatever? Don't you think that could be something that could be viral if, like Mark Hamill used to come in dressed as Luke Skywalker, or they just shoot.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, because I know they do that with like Sesame Street. They'll bring in like celebrity guests and those clips go viral and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe you make an online element of it that way.
Yes.
And keep it relevant that way.
Maybe.
Because, like, for example, also, like late night talk shows, I don't watch any of those, but I'll come across like a Stephen Colbert monologue or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, I'll watch this or whatever. So, yeah, I wonder whether that could work.
Exclusively to maybe like YouTube.
Yeah, or just
YouTube original.
Not even just YouTube, but like it has a second life on YouTube that reaches more people than on the streaming. Yeah.
I don't bloody know.
You don't want to see some hot clips of Muppets on streaming?
No.
Did you ever see Crank Yankers?
No. Yeah, I saw Crank Yankers.
They're bringing it back, Mason.
Oh my God, Crank Yankers.
Can you imagine getting somebody on the phone and telling them something that they can't believe?
I can't imagine getting somebody on the phone, to be honest.
That's true. We live in fear of it.
Yeah.
Then you hate it when you're messaging and then you're like, I'm just going to have to call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or I'm texting somebody and I get a phone call from anyone on earth.
Good Lord.
Absolutely not.
Get out of here.
Oh, my God.
I think probably...
Be less scary if you put a gun to my head.
I'm trying to think of who I think I probably call the most, and I don't even call you that much. I might call you once a week.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But it's only if it's quicker. Anyway, Muppets, bring them back or don't.
I think you should bring them back.
Or don't.
I think they've got some relevance.
Yeah, but you're right, or don't. I agree with you.
Yeah. Exactly. This is from Michael Harris. This one, I can't think of any examples right now, but we're gonna roll through this anyway. It says titles too good to lose. Do you think they came up with the title for Face Off, and thought we need a plot for this because Face Off works on two levels: hero versus villain, plus their faces literally come off. So, what's your favorite film where you suspect they came up with the title first?
Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, that's true.
Good. Oof.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a tricky one, isn't it? I'm gonna throw it out to the listeners.
I think a lot of Grisham stuff would be like
A Time to Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like even who's the guy who's dead but he keeps making books?
Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those
for
are just
sure.
like
Absolutely,
Hawk level.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I think that's probably
Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
but
right.
also
I
the
think so.
game. I think Untitled Goose Game. You've seen that new game?
I've seen Untitled Goose
so
Game.
excited for Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
They say it's like Hitman, except you're a goose and you're annoying people.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And it's a Melbourne developer, actually.
Oh. Yeah. I'm going to throw this out to the listeners.
Throw it out there. What do you got?
Yeah, if you suspect they came up with the title first because it's a great name.
Yeah.
Or it's a name too good to lose, or it's just like Not even a good name, but if it's just a name where you go, okay, well, they thought of a word and they went, okay, well, let's spin a yarn around it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of examples.
There's a bunch.
Cool, but I think that's the show.
We're on the spot, all right?
Yeah, we really are. Should we bring us home at the end of the show?
Let's bring it home.
The end of the show.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and subscribing, telling a friend.
Yes.
Giving us a nice review. You got a nice review?
Go on here. You can do it right on your app, on your iTunes app. It's from IXE8. This person says, the film of podcasting. While Mr. Sunday Movies may be just a movie, co-star Nick Mason elevates this podcast to a true film. He should drop Wikipedia Brown and become Mr. Sunday Films.
Oh, I get it.
After 300 podcasts on Red Hot Comic Book Movie News, the pair still have it with hot scoops and neutral takes. That's not incorrect, on stuff that doesn't matter. There you go. Thank you.
Perfecto.
Here we are.
If you'd like to contact the show, you can go to Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook, on Gmail, on Twitter, on Bandcamp.
Check it out.
You can also go to planetbroadcasting.com, sign up to our great newsletter from the great Rob Collings.
Yeah, man.
He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. On Twitter, I am Wikipedia Brown, and on Instagram, I'm at Nick Maso, NickMaseeau. You're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
You know I am.
If you'd like to support the show, well, gosh darn it, we would appreciate it.
We'll check it out.
Oh, a bit of...
we'll let you do it.
We'll let you do that.
Yes.
You can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies if you would like to chuck in a buck.
We'd love that.
You can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description. Give that a little clicky click
Yeah,
and buy some stuff on Amazon.
What do you got?
Yeah.
We'll check it out.
That's right. Some sort of Stallone Ad Astra box set combined together. The face, Stallone on one side, Brad Pitt on the other side.
Oh, that's a face-off situation.
You better believe it is.
Yeah.
We've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com. I saw a photo just recently. A listener of our podcast went up to the Live Do Go On podcast.
Oh, terrific.
On in Sydney. I think it's Sydney. And
Sydney.
And he's wearing a Weekly Planet t-shirt, and all the folks from Do Go On are giving him the finger.
That's rude.
It's rude, isn't it?
Because they're friends of ours, I thought.
Yeah, well, they were. Now they're not. Oh, which reminds me, I forgot. I was on this week's episode of Crime Mates with Matt Stewart.
We should mention that again next week, so it's
exactly
up top. Yeah.
The Dream Team is back. Myself, Matt Stewart, Evan Munro Smith, and Cass from Sans Pants, and we talked about an episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold, where he teams up with the Detective Chimp.
I love it, Mason.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's the whole show, I think.
Great.
Terrifico.
And next week, we're doing edgy movies or
Are we
whatever.
doing the edgy movies one? All right,
what do you got?
Really good.
Send us a bloody edgy movie and we'll
What's the
try and check it
edgiest
out.
movie you've ever heard about?
Yeah.
We'll watch it. Yep. No, we can't really. Well, it has to be something that we've seen.
Or,
we saw as kids
I
or
think
teens.
I'll squeeze in some stuff, mate. Don't even
give
worry
it a whirl.
about
All right,
it.
give it a whirl. You can tell me all about it.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
And see if we still think they're as edgy as they used to be.
Yes,
Nice.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Grab that gem, you guys. We will see you next week.
Goodbye. Ha ha ha. That's in prep for the Joker in 2 weeks.
You put it in the end. You're so twisted.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.